Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the LeafCast, the first-time reader show based on the big fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. My name is Ryan, and I am currently bale-firing canines?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
And I'm Ryan's brother Dan, and you said you would obey, so you scrub pots when they say scrub pots, and you run when they say run. You may not know Giotto, but you follow it. And we are the way of the leaf, and this is the LeafCast.
Dan, I haven't said this, but I love your quotes.
Thank you.
I love them. They're just like snappy, succinct. They're like you find the essence of the 3 chapters.
Ryan, I appreciate that. A lot of work goes into it.
Right.
What does your shirt say?
This is my lucky shirt.
Your lucky shirt. Okay.
I'm feeling great. I'm
feeling great. Hey, are you literally feeling great?
I feel like I'm gonna get lucky tonight. Is what I think the shirt says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
lucky shirt. I see. And a toddler wears that, huh?
Speaking of getting lucky, I know, right? Let's bring in our guests.
Let's do it.
We love them. We love their brains. We love their souls. Let's dive into them.
Let's dive into their brains and souls.
All right, Dan. We were told we shouldn't yell during the intro music.
Yes.
We don't want to overload. I think that was wise, sage advice. I'm just take it on the chin. Hey,
they're reading right. And they lived happily ever after.
Everything about this is my favorite.
Not in this universe. They don't live happily.
It's no the end. All right. Oh my gosh. Let's say thank you so much to our friend MaTsDaGgerX.
Oh, we have an echo somewhere.
Is that for me?
Echo.
Are you on Discord? There we go.
I am
solved.
Yeah. Okay.
Solved.
Good. Thank you, MaTsDaGgerX. Let's not ignore. There was a message.
Thank you, Matt.
Welcome back, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
Hope you all feel better. Yeah. So the SARS hit 3/4 of us. A good 75% of us were wiped out, wiped off the map. But we got better.
Yep. And I have an active mute button on my mixer, so I'm going to be quietly coughing away.
the phlegm.
Oh my gosh, I have so
phlegm
much
control.
This is a horrific shit storm. I don't wish this upon my worst enemy.
Was that one of your symptoms, Ryan? Did you have a shitstorm?
Oh no, that was the album I was listening to earlier. Was that? Oh,
horrific shitstorm.
Yeah. Never mind. I love that shit.
I didn't know if that, COVID does manifest in many ways. Sometimes it's a head cold, sometimes it's in the chest, and sometimes it goes right out your butt.
We got an echo again.
Right. Okay, it is my sound then, and I'm not sure what to do about that, so I'm going to try to for a second. Carry on.
All right. And everyone on Discord, if you can, just make sure that you have that mute button pushed.
I think I fixed it.
You don't want to
come back in. I fixed it.
Yeah.
So I had this joke all planned out about feeling like Kadere, and I got a break from Lanfear last week when Ryan wasn't here to lord over me and
to distract you with my beauty.
You slept pretty well that night, didn't you? That last Tuesday night, didn't you kind of go to sleep?
Oh my God, there's such an ease to the back and forth, such a witty repartee.
It was like a meditation almost.
We did put Glenn to sleep, I think, last week. So I don't know what that says about you and me, Dan, doing it on our own. But then Ryan busts out, "Oh, I haven't mentioned this before. I love your quotes, Ryan. The last time you were on the show, that was what you started with."
Yeah. But hey, COVID brain, man. I'll take every compliment there is. I hope next week you compliment me as well, Ryan. I think you were very funny in yours. I haven't complimented you on yours yet. I think you're very funny. Your balefire canines. That's hilarious shit.
Hey, thanks. Hey,
That's a good
thanks.
I was actually shocked that you would balefire a canine and how you've reacted to dog-related violence previously on the show and in my life. I was.
Josh has a
shocked.
Solid point here.
Right.
That was an interesting quote for you to choose.
It wasn't that the dogs like became like T2 Terminator and just like reformed from molten weird fluid. No, it was that you were okay with it, Ryan.
They were liquid metal puppies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the issue for me. It was just kind of strange hearing Ryan say it.
Dark ones are kind of the coolest.
Hey, I'll stand by it.
They were decapitated.
Stand by it, baby. That's all you can do at this point.
These are pivotal, life-changing moments for this guy. I can't wait to get into it. I think I just found, I'm like Rush Limbaugh. I just found a hot topic. I'm just gonna pick a side and like cause division.
Wear a shirt with skulls on it from Hot Topic.
Next week, maybe.
You're a dragon belt buckle.
You're lucky I'm not wearing my skeleton shirt right now, Josh.
I have a Travis Barker.
I want to see it.
Because then you'd have egg on your face. No, not really. You would have seen it if I was wearing it.
I mean, don't I?
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
I got my Travis Barker tank top that gets cut all the way down to here, so you could like see my rib cage and stuff. It's so cool. So cool. So
I see those in Florida way more often on men than I would like, Florida man, than I would like to admit.
I would minimize mentioning how often you will mention as wow, I do have COVID brain. Mentioning that you're from Florida as often as you do.
Yeah, no, it's great.
That's what kind of.
I'm all for it.
Nothing wrong with being from Florida.
They're all amphetamines, steroids, and just they wrestle alligators
and oxys, baby.
I'm on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, and they got a wacky governor. So wacky. Can't say gay. I guess you get arrested if you say the word gay.
In
Which
Florida,
is so gay. That's
yeah,
so gay,
right.
man.
Right. You can't. Yeah. There was a place called Gaytona Beach. They had to change the name to Daytona Beach. All right. Sorry. Guys,
over the line.
They're petitioning it to be Sunday Tona Beach.
Good one.
Thanks.
Chapter 5 is called Amongst the Wise Ones. It has the whale bloopy thing that we know to be the flame tarvalon.
The opposite of the dragon claw, right?
This is an Eggman chapter, and right off the bat, we have a drinking obligation because she laughs softly at her own foolishness. Guys, whenever you make noise aloud at your own thoughts, that's funny, and that's a drinking obligation. It happens.
I do that a lot.
Well, I'm going to drink it whenever you do it.
There are a lot of oral references in this chapter.
Oh,
go on.
Like teeth chattering, Eggman biting into the problem and not letting go once she has her teeth in it.
Ooh.
There's other ones too. I think I have them underlined as we go through. But there's one right here. The first end of the first chapter. Her teeth wanted to chatter.
Josh, you're getting beanie love. I just want to bring it up because we need to balance.
Is that a new beanie?
There's a lot of beanie kidding.
Nice.
A lot of beanie like poking fun of, but yeah, this is genuine. And you think it's
like I said, I'm dark friend and just
isn't it?
Watch it come.
This it's the
PL over there.
Because Josh, because we had a twofer, just the two of us. I see the sun and the rainbows fall and the beauty of it all and the time spent with you.
There, I just sometimes I sit back. I know
three of us have hats on, so
right. It's kind of a hat day.
I think for my well, I mean, Hey, all
Just
right.
saying, you have a Viking one right behind you, Ryan. Get that. Oh, he didn't mute. He's too far away.
Egwin is super cold.
Just a hot sec.
Her tent, it's freezing. The way sucks. Guys, the way sucks. It's hot in the day and cold at night. She's freezing. She's trying to bathe. She cheats.
I mean,
What? Huh.
New Mexico is nice, and it's like that. I don't know. Why does it have to suck because it's hot in the day and cold at night?
Because
everywhere is hot
because
right now. I
it's
think people can
uncomfortable. I mean, Death Valley is the same way, but it's called Death Valley for a reason. I mean,
That's not a hat.
He's going to the shooting range, apparently.
Ryan looks like the lo-fi girl.
Wait,
Looks
what?
like he shot a
He
shotgun
really doesn't want to hear us.
Are you guys
and his
talking
neck
right now?
popped in.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh my God, those are sound dampening. Sorry.
Yeah. You just got off the range.
Yeah.
You know,
range,
this
exactly.
here is a 12 gauge. Now, the difference between a 12 gauge and a
Hey, no,
350.
guys, when the voices get really loud, I put those on. And
So all you can hear is the internal
All
dialogue.
you can hear is the voices.
I grab my nipples and I ride it all the way down.
Drown out all the real sounds in the world.
All
Just want to hear
care
what's
and
going
love
on
and
inside.
support. Nope. Yeah. Little.
Egwin gets summoned to the Wise One's tent. She's like, fine, let me get dressed. She's all thinking, bloody fucking Dragon Reborn. I bet you he has a bath. I bet he has a bed. I bet he's living at large. Look at him. I'm around outdoors. I'm around outdoors. That's so cool. I don't even have to sleep on the pallet, I bet.
Okay. He really, yeah. Oh my
So
God.
she's just a little snippy. She says she was sure that he got a hot bath every night. The maidens probably had buckets of hot water up to his room. I bet they even found him a proper copper bathtub.
She's kind of jelly about that.
Yeah, she's a little jealous. She's sus. Josh is no longer sussy Josh. Egwin's sus.
Okay, and what did she have though? She just want to sneak a little jasmine or lavender. What was it? Just a little scented. Soap
She bought some soap. Yeah. Piece of lavender scented soap. Yeah, so she's smelling all pretty. So she goes to the Wise Ones, and Moraine is there. Before that, she tries to talk to the Guy Shine. Hi, Guy Shine.
Guy shine.
She's like, hey, what's your name? Hi, I'm Egwin. She's like,
You shame me.
yeah. She goes, what's your sept and clan? Because she just says, I'm a Guy Shan. Before and after are not now and only now exist. She's like, well, come on. Tell me, Kawinde. She says, when's your time up? She says, I am Guy Shane. Guy Shine, I guess. But she's like, when are you done? She's like, I am Guy Shine. That's it. She says, here's a little thing, I guess, incongruity. She says that they jump whenever the wise ones say frog.
Oh.
But they've never seen a frog. I mean,
That was interesting, right? Like that they went straight from that metaphor into saying they don't know what a frog is.
But they don't know what a frog is. But then just the same page, she says, don't be silly, Egwin said sharply, and straighten up. You aren't a toad. Yeah. So they got toads?
What?
And how do you have a toad and not a frog? I know
All toads are frogs, but not vice versa.
There you go.
All
So
toads lead to Tarvalon. Thank you.
Can you tell by sight?
Fact to remember. I think I knew that like once upon a time when I'd play with the pollywogs in the wash, but I've not known the
Pollywogs in the wash
in a while.
Pollywogs in the wash.
Pollywogs in the wash.
That's an interesting story, I guess.
Like a washing
Sentence
machine?
to say and not give context.
That sounds like the officials needed to be brought in on that.
Yeah, I was a wanderer.
A wash in pollywogs.
We found a girl about 5, bare feet, catching pollywogs in the wash.
Yeah, pretty much.
She's named
Although
him.
I wasn't barefoot. I really didn't like that.
Okay.
I was like, ew. I just want to get them, catch them, and see them grow.
Nice.
And then let them go back.
So they get to the tent. Egwin gets naked. Into the tent she goes, where it's nice, and it's a sweat tent. They don't have a hole above their tent. It's all steamed in, so it's all nice and warm. She let's see.
I'm ready, Dan.
Hold on.
No, I'm ready. Just telling you. Don't worry about me.
So Maureen's in there. And I'm skipping over a tiny bit, but I don't think it's important.
There's some weird shit.
I do think it's interesting that we get all these kind of like jealous internal dialogues here between like Egwin being jealous of Rand into her perception, Rand being jealous about Avienda in the previous chapter over the necklace that we learned that Egwin gave to her. Avienda being jealous over Rand's eyes on Ascendre. Yeah, so it's like there's this little like loop of jealousy and sort of like misinformed.
They're also like little whiny babies in this. Like you're right, Josh. They're so jealous of each other, and there's a lot of that internal dialogue going on, and then there's like external things that are happening too, where they're like outwardly saying, like this or that, and it's just kind of funny. Like they're just all bickering.
Well, to that point, if I can, let's talk right about the wise one. So we hear that Aviendra and Egwin.
Ryan, can you tamp the music down just a hair?
Yep.
Just a hair.
Boom.
Thank you.
So the wise ones are pretty much pitting the two against each other, and it's an effective strategy with them, it appears, because they are good friends. But when they're running later, they're like,
yeah, we get the back and forth. Each one is
hard.
being shamed for the other's behavior, essentially.
You know why I work so hard? Because they always say that you're the best, and Egwin's like, they always say you're the best. But I mean, this isn't a good parenting style. This is not a good management style. This does not. I guess unless you're just like some Wall Street broker, that it's like, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. This is corporate world, baby. I don't know. It doesn't seem like.
Who were you just playing right there?
I don't know.
Were you out Pacino and Wolf Wall Street?
Great ass.
Actually, this is a great comment. Hey, Elf Witch, glad to see you. We met this mother effer.
Hi, Elf Witch.
New best friend.
Best friend.
Yes.
And here I am wearing a dumb hat. We got a new best friend, right? My hat looks like Rolf. Remember Rolf, the dog, the piano playing dog?
Yes,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It totally does. Yeah. And you're a puppet, so it's perfect.
It's kind
forever. He was my favorite forever.
We just watched the Liberace Muppet Show episode last night, me and the kids, and Rolf, like in the first
liberal propaganda. Go on.
In the first scene, Rolf walks through while Kermit's doing the introduction, and he's got like a 5-candle thing that he's carrying. He's just like completely downtrodden. And Kermit's like, "Don't take it so hard, Rolf," because he calls he calls him a true artiste, and Rolf is like. Classic.
By the way, that was the voice I was doing. It was Rolf. Do you remember whose voice was like this?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Oh, good.
You
Yeah,
feel
Mike.
full circle, right?
I'm so glad. You're amazing.
So Moraine is pretty much trying to convince the wise ones that Rand's plan is not a good one. Like, hey, you know what? You shouldn't. All right, so it says, let's see. He said, if you allow this, it will be disastrous. Years of planning are coming to fruition, and he means to ruin it all. And Amos is like, plans of the White Tower. Those plans have nothing to do with us. We got to just consider the IL. Moraine says that it's going to be the IL war all over again. Quote, you will kill and burn and loot towns as you did then. They're like, well, the fifths are due. I mean, look at your tax system. I mean, you take easily a fifth, which I think is Robert Jordan, maybe. It says here, your kings and queens take as much in their taxes. Moraine pushes on. She says, in the IL waste, I'm sorry, in the IL war, the nations united turned you back. Amos
That was
says,
only 4 tribes.
Yeah, she's like, it's just going to be death. And she goes, none of us fears death, I said. Life is a dream from which we must all wake before we can dream again. Besides, those were only 4 clans. We're going to have all of them.
Like,
Touché.
are they a death cult? What the hell is this? This is not normal.
Life is a dream from which we must all wake before we can dream again.
None of us fear death.
They're all wearing white Nikes.
Well, isn't that? I mean, that's what we see with the Tuathuan as well, right? They are the same people. They come from the same core philosophy, but they're like different sides of the same coin. And the Tuathuan, in the face of battle, sing.
Ooh.
That's
And
right.
admit to not being afraid of death, and that they know that death is just a point of reiteration within the wheel. Right, we get all the reincarnation talk with the wife of the wagon leader that Perrin met in the Two Rivers during Perrin's healing scene.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Where they go into this exact topic and like talk about death and reincarnation, and so it all makes. I mean, it ties together from a philosophical standpoint.
Isla, I think her name was.
Isla, right?
I think you're right.
Well, they're like, Moraine, enough of this. We're done talking about this shit. You can go. She's like, I think I'll go. And she leaves.
It's my idea. Fuck you.
They're like, I had to pour the tea. She's like, oh, fuck. I don't have the tea. I didn't make the tea. Sorry. Oh. She runs out. They're all looking at her like, Jesus. That's when everyone's like, yeah, she never does that. She's always
Hey,
that's what is that, Airplane 1 or 2? And he's like, Jim never orders fish at home.
Yeah.
Jim never upchucks at home.
He never throws up twice at home.
Jim never passes out at home.
we learned that there are more Tuathuan in the waste than ever before. And that some of those, quote, I have heard, Amos said slowly, that some of those who run after the bleakness have gone to the lost ones and asked to be taken in. A long silence followed.
here.
But then they're just talking about change. Rand brings change. He's the only first dude allowed under the roof of the mistresses. What do you know?
Yeah.
And they also said that they are now a nation, or will be a nation, which has never been the case with the IL before. They've been a collection of clans that generally just warred amongst one another. But they're planning that with He Who Comes with the Dawn, they unite and are a formidable nation behind him. If only 4 clans took on Kyrian and shaped the Aiur War the way it did, you're gonna have at least 6 or 7. Rand was thinking he wanted 9 of the 13 or something. I don't know, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. They ask if Rand will mind if Avienda sleeps in his room. Egwin is horrified. She's like, fuck. And actually, Avienda is too. She's like, my honor. Here's an interesting line. It says, the pattern does not see Jia-To, Bear told her, with only
Oh yeah, this is interesting part.
Only what must and will be. Men and maidens struggle against fate, even when it is clear the pattern weaves on despite their struggles. But you are no longer far that you must learn to write fate. Only by surrendering to the pattern can you begin to have some control over the course of your own life. The pattern does not see Jia-To.
Yeah.
Funny.
I like that.
So there is no karma then.
Or is it
Right.
that if through like vigorous training you can somehow transcend the pattern, like meditation, like cultures of meditation and historically are presumed to be able to, like, you know, do more things, like stop their heart, walk around, pop up in Jersey for a sub, go back to India, shit like that. Like, is that what we're talking about? That they just train themselves so goddamn hard that they like are better, are able to do something? Is that what you think is happening there? I don't know if you...
Who are you asking?
Who am I asking? I'm asking you, Josh.
Oh, no, I don't think that's what's going on.
Okay. So, and Jia-To is outside of the pattern. What do you think that's about then?
I think that it's like a data structure from their culture. It's not a data structure from the underlying mechanism that turns the wheel. Basically, it's a bolt-on as opposed to an integral component of the way that the pattern functions. Otherwise, it would exist outside of their cultural context, which it doesn't appear to.
Can we say then, to my initial point, that there is no karma in regarding the wheel or the pattern?
In terms of why you come back and...
Well, Jia-To essentially is a way to clear...
But it's a way of doing retribution for a societal ill.
Right.
It's defined within cultural boundaries as opposed to being a fundamental aspect of the nature of reality. And that's so, I don't think you can map it directly to an idea of karma. There may still be something like that, but this is not it.
Okay. Oh.
I mean, is it karmic for them, for the person who blows the horn, or for the heroes of the horn to be reincarnated in a role that allows them to fulfill a similar duty?
That, yeah, good.
I mean,
question.
it feels. I mean, this is sort of like the question of destiny versus fate, right? And this gets back to the question of free will and the pattern and right fate. I mean, I've been thinking about this quite a bit outside of the show, and it's like the idea of the fates in Greco-Roman mythology, right? Is that there's an inescapable endpoint that you're headed towards, where you have no volition. Whereas destiny is much more of a creative. It's emergent. It's an emergent property of the decisions that you make in life, I would argue. Sort of like the difference between morality and ethics. One being morality being very like black and white and rigorous, and ethics being something that is an emergent property of the systems of value that are mapped around it, right? Like destiny emerges as a byproduct of their participation in the pattern. That's how I'm interpreting it right now.
Okay.
Is like more like an emergent property as opposed to something that they have to do. And yes, the pattern does encourage them to fall into certain things, but people can still make decisions that lead them to do things or not based upon their role. So how does karma fit into that? Is there a concept of karma? I don't know that there is. It doesn't seem like... So what happens to a Forsaken when they die?
Well, they go up.
They aren't killed with balefire.
Well, Josh, they go up to a farm up north where they get to run free and play.
Yeah, with all their other Forsaken old dogs.
Yeah, and they get all the food and frozen yogurt right out of the spigot.
They're happy.
They're happy, Josh. That's
the story I expected to come out of Brian about the Dark Hounds.
Not the Dark Hound.
What are your thoughts?
The Forsaken.
Yeah,
so if a Forsaken dies,
I know, but
what happens? Are they reincarnated? And who is ultimately in control of that? I mean, again, if you take the Gnostic map, if you map Gnosticism onto this again, how do we even know that the Great Lord... Oh, and you missed this, guys. How do we even know that the Great Lord, which is the only thing I will ever refer to the Dark One as from here on out?
Yeah, he's the Great Lord.
Yeah. No.
Josh,
how do we know that the Great Lord is actually evil?
Yes,
right? They could be bringing freedom from the wheel cessation, from the wheel of rebirth. So
this is what I love about the Forsaken right now.
So
in the story,
if there is karma, and let's take the logical path. There is karma. The Great Lord is evil. Therefore, the actions of the Forsaken are evil, which means that their karmic debt would have to be paid off. So they would be reincarnated as something less than a Forsaken, in theory. Or is the dark... So then that begs the question, who's in charge? Is the Creator in charge? Is the Great Lord in charge? Is no one in charge? Is it the pattern that leads to the emergence of their personality and their way of being? We don't know.
Ram's mom, remember, she was being tortured, and he in the Eye of the World, he sees her mom, and then he saves her, and she says thank you, and wisps away. Do you remember this?
In his vision?
He was, yeah. It was when he was fighting when he was in the Eye, I think. What, right? Didn't he see Karri Thor?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure he did. And she was like, oh. So, I mean, that was a dead person we've seen. I don't know.
Well, I thought that was within a vision that he was having, as opposed to in the real world. The default reality, consensus reality, default reality that they all share. Was that within the TAR? Was that within a vision? Was that? You recall?
Yeah, I think it was in the weirdness that was the Eye.
He saw
But I
Karri
think it
in a
was a
dream while
reality
on the road.
Okay.
No, I think there was something else. Anyways, no big deal.
Thank you, Glenn. Yes.
Demiurge.
My man knows what I'm talking about.
I woke up with the Demiurge this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Follow it through to its
logical... Yeah, and you seem to be in a great mood. Congratulations.
I'm feeling great. Got rid of all my virus.
And your demiurges.
So Egwene has been trying to find people's dreams. She's trying to find Elaine and Nynaeve's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, Amos is like, hey, have you found their dreams yet? And she's like, no. She's like, well, you should be able to by now. I'm going to hide my dream, and I want you to find me tonight. And she does, which is awesome. But they're training her how to do that. And we'll get into the dream. Shit, we can even get into the dreams now if you want. But she went kind of nutso in the dreams. She was checking out everyone's dreams.
I do want to read
these.
Kind
of backfired on her.
I want some dramatic readings. Come on.
I do want to read this quote from the paragraph with the pattern does not see Giotto.
Okay.
It says, you must learn to ride fate. Only by surrendering to the pattern can you begin to have some control over the course of your own life. If you fight, the pattern will still force you, and you will find only misery where you might have found contentment instead. To Egwene, that sounded very much like what she had been taught concerning the One Power. This is a nice parallel. To control Saidar, you first had to surrender to it, fight, and it would come wildly or even overwhelm you. Surrender and guide it gently, and it did as you wished.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that means that. What does that mean to you then? Again, like.
Yeah, no, I really like that part too, Josh. Thank you for reading
that. Seems super clear to me that they believe in a very like predetermined world, and like harmony comes with actually surrendering to right? Like, isn't that
at least Avienda seems to right? That's from Avienda's point of view, right?
It's a bear. It's Bear who says that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And again, like these people can be wrong.
Keeping track who's talking.
Right, like a lot of people are saying a lot of things about the patterns up until the point we're at in the series, and if we were to like map them all out, I imagine many of them would contradict each other because.
Well, so I mean, this is the part that.
Go on.
No, I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
No, I'm just saying it's just the whole unreliable narrator concept.
Right. Well, I mean, they're individuals who are in the world, and they don't have omniscience or like all the answers, right? So. Only by surrendering to the pattern can you begin to have some control over the course of your own life. And this is what I've been saying. It's an emergent property, right? Only by surrendering can you have control. It's not that it overtakes you and you have no control by surrendering. It's that surrendering is itself the mechanism by which one gains control.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the next sentence is awesome. It says, if you fight, the pattern will still force you, and you will find only misery where you might have found contentment instead.
Yeah.
So
there's this sense of like being pliable, but also that you have freedom within the confines of that path, right? Like.
Okay, so you're saying control meaning control over, I guess, the minutia of the
course of your own life. I mean, again, like Rand could have chosen to not leave Two Rivers, right?
I don't know.
And they would have died probably to a Trolloc attack. And then what would have happened? Who would have become the Dragon Reborn? In theory, if Rand died before fulfilling his destiny, another human being, another instantiation of a person within this world would be reborn as Luz Theron, and fulfill the archetypal role of the dragon. And they would have made different decisions and had a different context of life than Rand did, which led him to be both the Dragon Reborn and the fucking he who comes with the dawn, because he's also Aiel and was born on the shores of Dragonmount, right? Like, but if it hadn't been Rand, would it also have been an Aiel half-blood who also happened to be born on the shores of Dragonmount? Probably not, right?
Would it happen in this age?
I would assume so. I mean, I think that. I mean, otherwise the Great Lord would triumph. And that's where the resetting of the pattern and the creation of free will for individuals within the wheel happens, is by Rand's completing the final battle.
I believe Ishamael accused Rand of losing several times in the many times that they are going. Like sometimes sometimes I best you and you become the puppet of the Dark One, right? Right, like to that effect.
Yeah.
Do you think that is actually happening, or is that the rantings of a lunatic?
Well, what does it mean? I mean, this gets back to that question that we've asked before of what does it mean for the Dark One, the Great Lord, to break free of his imprisonment? And has he been imprisoned like this before? Is the taint something that's a repeating pattern within the pattern, or is the taint something that only emerged as a byproduct of this latest iteration of the age?
That's all we know, and
your question. So basically, the question is just spurring more questions.
It's an unknown because they even say like as ages come, like memory fades,
right?
And by the time you come to the age you're in again, you have no recollection of anything. So.
Yeah, but presumably the Great Lord has memories of prior ages, since he seems to exist outside of time and space to some degree.
Well, we can assume last age there is no taint because we know a little bit about the Age of Legends, correct?
Right.
A little bit.
So you're saying maybe the age before the Age of Legends, like the first age, maybe there's a taint?
I don't think so. No. I mean, if you were going to ask me my opinion, I would say no. I think that the taint occurred for the first time in this latest iteration of the ages, and that is a dynamic. That each iteration is dynamic enough in the sense that new things have to happen and new decisions are made by the players, the archetypal players within the greater story of the pattern. That's my opinion. I don't know if I will die on the hill of it, but that's where I'm at the moment.
And so, like, Luz Theron was somehow special in this story because of the decisions he made, and that's kind of like the evolution of.
Well, in a way, Luz Theron created this, and we've talked about this before. The sin, essentially, the primordial sin, was kinslaying. Right, and that's what Rand. That a male did it within this world, and that Rand is having to deal with the fallout of that evil decision.
Because of kinslaying.
I mean, this goes many episodes back that we talked about.
Yeah.
But that the primordial sin is the kinslaying, and that Rand's decisions to be different are in response to that, in a sense, I think.
Okay.
In diametric opposition even to that, and that is what leads him to behave in the way that he does.
That makes sense. I mean, there is also the whole breaking of the world that
and the breaking of the world, right?
Is kind of pinned on Luz Theron. It wasn't just him. It was when they all went mad, but that was essentially a part of it as well. Is Rand is like, yeah, the last time the dragon was here, and oceans moved, and there was new mountains, and there was, my town over there is now over there.
All right, Josh, you have this on your conscience tonight.
Seriously, I'm with you, Karri. You're amazing, Josh. No, seriously, it's amazing. I agree with you on a lot of your points.
And it just attests to how great this is constructed as a story.
Yeah.
Like there's enough to speculate. I mean, it's really, and we're only on book 4. I can't wait to.
We're on book 5, but yes.
Yes.
That's COVID brain happening. It's sorry. Yeah.
I know.
All good.
Yeah. God, my bad.
We're gonna blame it on that.
There is a little mention about entering people's dreams, and you can do it. Oh, Ryan, are we getting
Oh,
that
Oh
what-
yeah, I'd love
going on?
to.
that time.
I think. Well, I mean, let's. I feel like let's get a little spacey on this one. Yeah.
Well done, Ryan.
Your glasses are all askew. What were you
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
You got all steamy. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna take this down a notch.
So yeah, entering other people's dreams.
Yeah, it says, quote, in another's dreams, you were a part of that dream. It took all you can muster not to behave as the dreamer wanted, be as their dream took you, and still sometimes it did not work. Wise ones have been very careful when watching Rand's dreams, never to enter fully. But they insist that she learn anyways. And so, yeah, that's the thing. But if you go all the way in, enter. All right, to you.
We all know MR. Cheers, MR.
So there's a little talk about one of the wise ones wants to get married. Elaine, she's got the hots for Bale, and she wants to talk to Dorinda to see if she can be accepted as a sister wife. Everyone's just like, "Oh, you're the best! It's awesome! That's awesome!" I mean, I'm just like, "Hey, Egwin, would you quote?" Could a woman of your land accept a sister wife? She's like, I don't think so. Nope. It's weird. Maybe if they're close friends, but nope.
I feel like this is a little bit of foreshadowing.
Oh yeah.
I still am of the opinion that Avienda and Rand are going to get it on
Oh yeah,
at some point.
for sure. And Avienda was like dreaming about it, right? And Egwene found. Or no, not Egwene. Wait, who was?
Yeah,
it?
Egwene saw Rand on his horse.
Yeah, because she went into his dream,
Pursuing her. Yeah.
or into her dream, right? She
Mhm.
went into Avienda's dream, and she was like, "Ah, fuck, I'm not gonna do that again."
Yep.
Yikes!
That's some stuff I didn't want to see. I mean, he's my ex. I don't really care about him anymore, but still don't like seeing him with someone else, especially my buddy.
Well, they talk about that in the run. They're asked to run 50 laps around the camp. They're like, you're both stubborn. When I call, you run. You don't lollygag. Get your ass in my tent when I call.
Just gave me this gave me nightmares of like high school sports.
Hey, on the line.
Yeah, no. Oh god.
On the line that you were busted.
Oh,
It was like, fuck, all right, here we got
no.
to do sprints.
I forgot about that.
On the line.
Straight up PE bullshit.
So, oh man, on the line.
Shake it off.
All right. And they're kind of talking. They're talking a little bit about Elaine, and Amanda's still like he belongs to Elaine. Edwin's like he doesn't belong to shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't own me. You don't own me.
You don't own me.
You don't own me. Yeah, what is that song? It was.
Yeah. I'm not just
Don't tell me what to say and don't tell me what to do. That was a freaking feminist manifesto right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
all I ask
That was
you.
like that's like every woman's power song when they break up with some guy. They really just knew they were better than.
So
or,
good,
you
and
know,
it gets so
trying,
majestic.
like,
It's like all the strings are like. Woo.
Yeah, you're just like woohoo, freedom.
Let's see. So they're just kind of running around. She's like,
kind of what every woman is kind of screaming right now. I have to say this in America, you know, to the government.
Yeah, just a
Anyway,
James
moving
Brown,
on.
just a big James Brown. Woo!
You don't own me. Anyway, had to be said. Continue.
She's like, and they talk about this Giotto. She says, I don't get Giotto. It's stupid. And it says, quote, you are Aes Sedai. And this is the quote I did to open the show. You are Aes Sedai and strong enough in the power to overcome Amos and Mullane together, but you said that you would obey, so you scrub pots when they say scrub pots, and you run when they say run. You may not know Giotto, but you follow it. Egwin says it was not the same thing at all, of course. She gritted her teeth as she did what she was told because that was the only way to learn dreamwalking. And she goes on to say to even think that she could live by this foolish Giotto was simply silly. She did what she had to do and only when and because she had to.
So I think there's some cool, like, symbolic. I think if we reflect this back to the notion around the Giotto and the pattern, this is interesting, right? Like, is she under a delusion? Okay, there's a couple of questions that come up. One, is Avienda the same? Would Avienda think the same thoughts, or would they be different coming from her cultural background? That's question one. Question two, is she right about, is she being truthful about her own internal state, or is this not the truth and she's deluding herself? And then third, go ahead.
No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go.
No, please.
She just kind of conflicts with that. Like, it sounds like she's not like she's really, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to explain this the way that I want to, but she kind of goes back and forth, right? She's like, oh, I'm just here to learn, like I'm not here to really serve them or do anything. But then she could have gotten out of running the 50 laps. We were talking about this earlier, but yeah, she could have gotten out of it. She could have just like gotten away with it and not done the 50 laps. And she was like, oh no, I never would have thought about it.
It says, quote, it never occurred to Egwene to stop short of the 50.
Yeah,
right.
And yes, exactly. So it never would have occurred to her, but she says outwardly that she's just there to learn. So it's conflicting.
And she's wearing, I mean, yeah, and she's wearing the clothes of a wise one.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, whether or not she recognizes it, I think she's fulfilling a role. The pattern is shaping her in a way, right, to like play this particular role and to play this character. And that's where I wonder, like, is this delusion? Is Giotto really what's going on? Or if flipped vice versa, what would Avienda's thoughts look like about this?
Yeah.
Would she, would Avienda say something similar? Because we know that she's also got a rebellious streak and a mind of her own.
Or they're running side by side. They could have just ditched out, but they're like really dedicated and true to what they're doing.
Right.
I don't know. Like yeah.
Unbeknownst, I thought I didn't notice this the first time I read this. The second time, it really hit me how he wrote that. Like, she's telling herself one thing, and then her true nature
completely behaving in a different way.
Yeah, and that's so true. And she's young. She's still not even 20 years old at this point.
Yeah, they're all so young still, and I keep forgetting that because these experiences just don't match what. I mean, anything that we know in our world, like what you could, I don't know. It's very intense. All these things that they're going through, and it seems almost impossible to fathom in our world. But then, our world's probably impossible for them to fathom. So maybe they're reading our book right now.
Yeah, they're like.
Nice.
That's
there was a time when rulers were in their 20s. That was considered the prime of their life, and as far as military stuff, now our rulers are all in like their 80s. It's gross. 70s and 80s. What? That shouldn't be a time to lead people. That's a time to follow what the young people want to do. So yeah, Rand is. We forget how young he is. He's surrounded by maidens. He's telling generals what to do. He's, challenging Aiel, and he's 20.
Is that true? I mean, if you look at the way it's portrayed, even in popular culture, the king as the figurehead, the ruler as the figurehead, is always steered from the shadows by his older advisors. Is it right? It's just that the positioning of the aged wisdom has shifted in our society to become the figurehead itself, as opposed to.
Didn't Alexander the Great die when he was like 28?
He did, I think. Yeah,
I mean,
27, 28, yeah.
28.
Agency.
But people lived a lot less time
27
back then too. And I'm sure that he had elderly advisors or generals who were, who had lived through war, who were advising him about decisions to make and steering the way of the empire. I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But did he die of syphilis? They all died of syphilis.
They always
was
died
it
of
syphilis,
syphilis.
No, he was peeing off a boat in the Nile, and one of them like little needlefish went right up his urethra.
No, I knew you were gonna go there for some reason.
Right up the urethra.
Wow.
Like
I knew somebody where that happened to them. It was a horrifying story. Ugh.
Wait, what? Really?
What?
Yeah, I met somebody. I know someone that actually happened to him and his wife.
What?
Terrifying story. Yeah, super scary. I don't even remember how it ended, so I'm sorry. It's not a very good story from me. But
probably ended with some antibiotics.
Oh yeah, for sure. They were in the hospital. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they had to like kill it, and then it had to be extracted, and then they had to like flush it out somehow.
Did they give us dirty movies?
Something that just went up into their stream, like they were peeing. They peed and it went up.
You guys have played
I can subscribe.
Oregon Trail, right?
That's what it's called.
Oregon Trail. Everyone, you have died of dysentery.
That's amazing.
Starved.
Yeah.
Thank you, Irish Bear.
That is.
You got attacked by Indians.
I've never gotten like to level 3 in that game.
We have the Oregon Trail card game, and it's just as difficult as the video.
Oh no! Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. You're like,
it's really well made.
Yeah.
That's funny. There was a beat to it that if you bought all like oxen or something, if you like spent all your money on one specific thing, you would win guaranteed. I only found out about this very recently. Urethra salmon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Upstream.
Nice. Yeah, they swim upstream.
Urethramon.
Piss salmon.
Oh. Yeah.
Let's jump.
So you're basically you order an Alaskan urethra salmon.
Alaskan.
Yeah.
Alaskan.
Let's get a little bit into chapter 6 before we take a break. Is that unless you
Sounds
really
good.
need one, Ryan? But I'm kind of cooking.
I'm rocking and rolling.
We're good.
So chapter 6 is called Gateways. It has the Lanfear cool symbol. But if it's like kind of turned, let's say counterclockwise, like 90 degrees, that would be like a cool necklace, right?
For Flavor Flav?
So like if it was inside out, backwards, twisted
if
another way,
like
and a totally different shape. But
you're right. That would
no,
be
I
an
see
amazing
it. It's
necklace.
it would be cool. Yeah. I'm just giving you shit. I love you, Dan. Brother Dan.
But I love you. And I take your shit and I bathe in it.
Hey, Brother Dan, I don't know if I've said this in a long time, but I really like the quotes you do at the start of the episodes, Dan. They're really great. They're really great.
I pulled those right from the book, Ryan.
You put a lot of effort into them. You really capture the essence of the chapters, Dan.
Right, I like your shades.
Thanks. Someone said I'm a sexy.
It's like I want to buy this guy a drink.
Someone said I'm a sexy librarian.
He's wearing his lucky shirt. He has his sunglasses like down, like they're reading sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're Ben Franklin shades.
These are like Far Side. Every woman in Far Side has these shades, these glasses on,
and they're always down on their nose. Yeah, you're right.
God, that's so true.
There's a standing. Right. Hey, you can't see off camera, but there's just cows just standing there smoking and talking to each other.
And there's a kid pushing on a pull door.
Yeah.
The kid never got into the school of special smart people. All right, so Rand, he wakes up. He's like, boom. Up. He woke up from a sexy little dream where he was teaching Avienda how to swim in a pond in the Waterwood. It was pleasant, but then suddenly there was a smell, a faint whiff of a foul miasma creeping under the door.
All right, wait, before we get there, Dan, this Blue Lagoon scene, right? Rand, Avienda. What is the soundtrack?
I'm thinking my first thought was Berlin, Take My Breath Away. Like the top gun.
Dude. Okay, yeah, okay, no copyright. Good.
That's what I was thinking. What are you thinking?
Josh, what would be the soundtrack in your mind if you're filming this?
There's an Italian electronic artist from 1964 called Enrico.
He's like, yeah. He's like, oh.
I just skinned Josh.
This is the Rand sex dream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Avienda in the water. What's the soundtrack?
I'll have to give that some thought. I don't know.
Okay. KayK.
Oh my gosh, you guys couldn't hear me. I totally said drop it like it's hot. Did you say that or the same?
No, yeah. I mean,
like
drop it like it's hot. Okay, I'm going with Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls.
Oh my gosh, that's not even a love song.
I want to change mine. I want to say Thrift Store by Macklemore.
What game are we playing?
Did we just jump? Well, jump. It's called Jump.
I don't know the rules anymore.
We're just trying to stall for time before Josh comes out with his.
I think Purple Rain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some trouble.
Oh my gosh.
There's Dan.
Everyone's singing it in their head. Some are singing it.
They're all just women in slow motion. So good.
It's slow motion.
Lighters up, everyone. Lighters up.
Pants down, lighters up.
Pants down, lighters up. That's the story of your high school career, Dan.
Pants down, lighters up.
PDLU.
So Rand wakes up. He has this funky feeling. It's not really a smell. It's like a feeling of otherness. He refers to it as. He's like, there's some shit going down here. I feel it. I feel it, baby. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick my ground. He picks the tallest, like up at the top of the tower. He's standing on an ice symbol, which he thinks is appropriate. He says, quote, an appropriate place to meet the attack between light and darkness. And then suddenly, boom, 3 big puppies. 3 big puppies.
3 big puppies.
They attack hard, but they're no match for Whirlwind on the mountain, and the wind blows over the wall and unfolding the fan. Ryan, I can't understand any of these at all. I can't picture them at all.
I cannot also. I never can really. Cat crossing the
wind
courtyard.
blows over the wall.
That's okay. So that here's what I think that is. Okay, someone's attacking you with a low blow, and you go whoosh, whoosh, and you roll over the attack. Okay. Keep giving them. I'll give you after we lost Dan. I was too. God, you know his internet doesn't want me to succeed. I was on a roll.
Yeah,
I was gonna do all of them.
Amazing.
Can someone read another one? I'll just act it out.
I think it's just time for a break.
Yeah, that's a very good call.
This might be a good time for
Case nice.
Did you want to act more?
No, I want to break more. Here we go, everybody. We'll see you. See you in 10 minutes. Yep. Love you. Hey, everybody. Checking in. Want to let you guys know what's going on. Oh, where'd you go? Hey, where'd you go? Come here, cutie pootie.
I love our people. Uh-oh.
Hey.
What's happening?
All right. All right. So
Everyone all
I
right?
turned down my volume all the way, so hopefully it won't be. Just keep talking.
I feel like I look like a narc.
Hey, kids. Anyone like skateboarding?
The sash really is kind of narky.
Where is the rave?
Where is the rave?
I'm back. Sorry, I was taking the dog outside.
Is that what you guys call it these days?
As I say, what's that stand for?
Oh my gosh.
All right, so Rand goes up to the top of the tower. He's standing on the Aes Sedai symbol. 3 demon dogs. Three death puppies. 3 death puppies.
They're not real
dark
dogs.
hounds.
These are my favorite creation by the Dark One, to be honest, the Great Lord, to be honest.
So far, right?
Really?
So far. It says slowly they resolved into 3 black dogs. So they were shadows. 3 black dogs, darker than night and big as ponies. Eyes shining silver. They circled him warily. He could not hear them breathe. Perhaps they did not. They make footprints in stone. Come on.
Well, that is impressive.
And only in stone,
they
right?
don't cross running water.
Seems like
they're especially dangerous at crossroads.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Running water? Is that real?
And Rand does some crazy sword forms that I just can't envision. But I don't know if we want to do a battle or not. But this, anyways, Rand decapitates all 3, and they're like, "Oh, we're dead. We're not dead. We're back." And so, a drinking obligation, guys.
Is that Dan? That's the Price is Right, the hole in 1 or 2
yeah. Hole in 1
Stop
or 2.
the show. Hold your horses. People, say hello to Kayla.
Go ahead, Kayla.
Oh, hey,
Good seeing
what's
you. So, a drinking obligation for the phrase "a thick shaft."
Oh yeah, okay.
Thick shaft of white light.
Join me.
That's
Are you drinking, Josh?
All right.
I think I just did.
I'll drink this one.
They're not opportunities; they're obligations, guys. But yeah, he balefires them. Boop. They're gone. They turn into moats. Moats that broke apart smaller and smaller until there was nothing.
Erased backwards in time.
Yeah. So let's wait until we get to Matt, because this is when it really comes into play. So Moraine rushes in. She's like, "Did they bite you or drool on you?" He's like,
"That's personal."
Well, he's a dick. He's like, quote, "The maidens let you pass. Have you become Fardarai's my, Moraine?" She's like, "Fuck off. They grant me privileges as the wise ones. But did they drool on you?" It's like, no. So it says their blood, even their saliva, is poison. A drop on the skin can kill slowly with great pain at the end. You were lucky there was only 3. The packs are usually larger, as many as 10 or 12. And he's like, "Oh shit!
Zoinks!
Oh
Get out of
shit!
here.
My best friend Matt."
Which
He runs
is
over to
why
Matt.
we're
Matt's
in
way
this
on the other
tonight.
side. He bangs on the door, and he gets there, and there's 3 dark hounds like at the door.
What I don't understand is, didn't they already face Darkhounds together?
Moraine took him down, remember, and she bailfired.
Yeah. When they were on,
They were running, and Land's like, "Well,
they found like the Ogier Steading or something, or like the remains of some architectural structure, and they like faced off at the top of it."
Mm-hmm.
But Rand was there during that battle?
Yes."
I thought he was. It's just the way that they're talking about it. It seems like they're implying that they don't know about them.
Well, they don't know.
No, he answered slowly. Darkhounds.
Well, what we learned was when the Darkhounds were going before with Moraine, Lan was like, "Well, once they get your scent, they're stuck on you. You can't outrun them. They'll outrun you. You have to eventually stand and face them." Right. And Moraine's like, "All right, let's do it now." And he's like, "No, we should still go." And she's like, "Nope. Right now, here's a good place." And she blasts him with the balefire.
It's just like, I don't know. There's something about the timbre of the writing that seems to imply that he has not encountered them before.
Same.
I don't know.
Oh, this just in. Rand not there. Perrin was there. It was in book 3.
Okay, so Rand was not there.
Perrin and Fael? All right.
Okay.
Perrin and Fael.
See,
Okay.
This is why we love you guys.
Howie Stevens, good seeing you.
I mean, it's not the only reason we love
Oh, look at the little babish. Nice picture.
you. Cute.
Okay, so this is the first time that he's met them. So that's cool. But he just intuits that he can kill them with balefire and does it, which is interesting.
But he does say that he's seen her do it before.
Right. Well, she used balefire on the Forsaken that she killed.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
In the tear.
Tear.
Tear. Yeah.
Tear and pear. The stone of pear.
The stone of tear. Stone of something.
So here's what it says. Remembering what had happened before, Rand darted to one side as he channeled, a shaft of liquid white fire streaking by the door as it destroyed the shadow spawn. He had tried to make it less this time to combine this destruction to the Darkhounds, but the thick wall at the end of the chamber had a shadowed hole in it. The bronze sheathing on the door was tattered and torn as though the teeth and toenails of the Dark Ones really had been steel. Lamplight shone through a number of small holes. There were paw prints in the floor stones, but surprisingly few. We find out that they actually did get through. Matt's like, boy, this naked fucking Matt. Matt is like, boy, I'm spent. You wanna
naked Matt?
You got to give this a try. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
You're gone, Matt. No, I'm just kidding. I know. That was my Fight Club.
Gross.
He says, quote, when I was putting everything I had into holding this door shut, I could have sworn one of them had chewed a hole right through it. I could see its bloody head and its teeth. Melindra's spear didn't even phase it. But Balefire negated that. That animal actually did get through the door. But Balefire took out the animal and its
reverse time
actions. It reverses shit.
But where did the saliva and the sickness come from?
SARS.
Okay.
No. So instead of him
yeah, speaking of which,
getting drooled all over, it was only one drop of saliva that got on his arm.
Like that was earlier than the effects of Balefire. Like Balefire might have been.
Moiraine says that Matt is lucky that he did Balefire it out of existence, which reversed the effects of the stuff that got on Matt.
Okay, so there's still
Right. So, like, what
Interesting.
does that mean? Does that mean that you just
It says, quote, Matt remembers seeing one of the dark hounds chew through the door, but there is no opening now. If it had slathered on him as much as he remembers, he would have been dead before I could reach him. For as far back as you destroyed the creature, whatever it did during that time no longer happened. Only the memories remain for those who saw or experienced it. Only what it did before is real now. A few tooth holes in the door and one drop of saliva on Matt's arm.
So why was his arm turning red? His memory?
Because of that one drop.
Because he still had that one drop, which was still painful, but she was
He said
able to
one drop
heal.
will kill you.
She was able to heal that one drop.
Okay.
But she wouldn't have been able to if he had been slathered on.
Okay. Interesting.
So how?
I don't get it.
So
I don't get it
Maureen goes
either.
on to
How
say,
does that even work?
Why does one
did
drop
they
get
reverse
through?
time?
Ryan, we read this just a minute ago. It says when she was talking about the dark hounds themselves, says one drop of saliva. She's like, "Did they drool on you?"
No,
Because
No, that part's clear.
so
just-
one
What part
drop
don't you
got
get?
through.
Lay it on
One
us.
tiny
Yeah.
tooth.
why was he legitimately sick if he balefired the dog and it was out of existence? It must have been something that happened
Because he only balefired it back so far that at the point that he stopped existing, only one drop had gotten through.
Okay, so he could have been like 10 seconds into the battle, but he balefired 5 seconds, so that's the first.
Got the 5 seconds. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so Maureen tries to heal him, and it doesn't seem to work when he's wearing this fox head medallion. He said, that's cold. She's like, well, if it's cold, take it off. And then she heals him.
Hubba.
She wants that medallion. She's like, I got to study. It belongs in a museum. She's all Indiana Jones about it.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what do you think of that, guys? Rand had to like forbid her from taking that from Matt, and she's like, okay.
He's cowed her finally.
So, but actually, before we get into that, let's stay with Balefire here. So it says, Rand says, that sounds just fine to me. He told her Matt's alive because of it. It is terrible, Rand. An urgent note entered her voice. Why do you think even the Forsaken fear to use it? Think of the effects on the pattern of a single thread, one man removed from hours or days that have already been woven, like one thread picked partly out of a piece of cloth. Fragments of manuscripts remaining from the War of Power say several entire cities were destroyed with Balefire before both sides realized the dangers. Hundreds of thousands of threads pulled from the pattern, gone for days, already passed. Whatever those people had done now no longer had been done, and neither had what others had done because of their actions. The memories remained, but not the actions. The ripples were incalculable. The pattern nearly unraveled. It could have been the destruction of everything: world, time, creation itself. End quote. Gnarly. That's why it's forbidden. Even the bad guys. I mean, it's like, all right, we both got nuclear weapons. We shouldn't use these, though, right? Because you could just erase it, break the pattern.
But the fact that they're even able to do that is like mind-boggling and just incredible. And because they're on Earth, I keep just going back to the whole like mental health aspect of it, you know, like because we were just at WotCon, so it's fresh on my brain, and like, oh my gosh, what if like at some point we use more of our 10% of our brain than, you know, what we're doing right now. I don't know if I'm speaking correctly. I have COVID brain currently, so but if I'm making any sense at all, it's just about like, you know, using more of our brain. Maybe we'd be able to actually do shit like that. Like, could we not not maybe reverse time. That's a bit far, but actually that's really far. But like, could we manipulate some sort of like power or whatever source is
Like if you're sitting on the couch and you don't want to,
way?
someone's got to go get the controller. You just like beam it over to
Yeah,
you.
you just can turn it on yourself. You are the controller.
Yeah. Ooh, nice.
I mean, just imagine the chaos that she described, though. You wipe out let's say a village of people with balefire. You just go, psh, you just marvel, super like evil villain. Psh, just wipe them all out. Like everything gets jumbled because of, I don't know, because of repercussions that people made decisions based on things that no longer happen. Like all this shit is funky. It's hard to wrap your brain around.
Yes, it is. This was really funny. I remember that song. Do you remember that song?
Watch me.
Totally.
I'll soon be naked, just like that. Just like that.
Lying on the floor. So stupid. It was the dumbest song ever. Why do we know it?
Oh,
that's played like
I think
incessantly.
I'm sure I cried on that song. I'm sure I put on a couple mixtapes.
Jesus.
Is this the first time that we've seen any reaction with the Foxhead medallion?
No, we saw it during the battle with the Trollocs. And
when they attacked the camp?
Yeah, and Matt.
Ooh.
And I think we talked about this. We intuited that it indicated that someone had channeled either around him or at him during the battle. Because it got cold on his neck. And that was why I was speculating, like we had someone there like Lanfear or someone, which ended up being true.
Wait, are the Aes Sedai able to? Are the women the ones that know if men are channeling, or the men the ones that know if women are channeling? Which one? Do you remember which one it is?
Women know if women are channeling. Men can't tell if either a man or a woman is channeling.
Okay, so men are supposed to be totally oblivious, and yet he does have some inclination.
No, Matt doesn't. His pendant does.
No, I think male channelers
but tingling on the back of the neck?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the tingling.
Well, that's true. That's true. Rand can sometimes sense a tingling when a woman channels, but they can't tell if a man channels.
Yeah, that's it's not the other way around. Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. Like, it's interesting if men are not supposed to be able to feel that at all.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that Matt's
pendant
essentially absorbs the power that's being directed at him.
But isn't it Rand that feels the...
Right, but Matt's pendant gets cold when he's channeled at.
Yes.
Okay.
It like absorbs the energy and turns cold.
Okay, so he knows when he's being channeled at only because...
Well, he hasn't put 2 and 2 together, but we can now tell that based on what we know.
Okay, so only because of the pendant, though. So, like, that seems completely different because it's not him. It's something that he has that...
And he can't channel, so he wouldn't be able to sense...
Right, exactly. So
someone
it's not
using
even,
the one source.
That's not even what I'm talking... I'm, like, really focused on the Rand thing. Like, men that can channel, can they... Right. Why is Rand different?
It's
I mean,
like
he's different in a lot of ways, obviously, but, like, specifically in this way.
Well, it's the only example of so far, I believe, of a man even talking about his experience as a channeler being around women. So we don't know. If
actually, no. In the Dark One social, in the Dark Friend social, as the guy who's in Andor describes perceiving the females channeling. Oh fuck! Now I gotta go back and look.
Okay, well, that's awesome. That's an amazing pull. I believe you. Okay, so then maybe we can make assumptions that it's a male channeler thing. Honey, it's more like I see it like this. The the male penis has the same number of nerve endings as a female clitoris. That's how I see it.
Nope.
Go on.
Right.
Wrong.
Well, yeah, like, and that's why, like, a man can feel a woman channeling because it's just the same number of nerve endings.
The exact same number.
It's
Wrong.
scientific. That's science.
Science.
That's
It's
not
the exact.
science.
It's the exact same.
That's weird science.
Taste buds are like
It's-
snowflakes.
This
quit.
is. This
I'm
is.
done. I don't know
What
to
is so
do.
wrong with? I learned this in human sexuality class.
What?
I felt
No, you did
special.
not.
All right, so Rand, he's talking. He's talking with the maidens a little bit, and there is a drinking obligation.
Let's go.
Line here, and this is, of course, talking about Lan. Which was to say, as still and calm as his face, all stony plains and angles in the moonlight. So, whenever Lan's face is referred to as stony or plains and angles, here we have the double.
Is that a double? What do we do with a double, Dan?
I don't have any shots.
2 drinks,
Three shots if I had 'em.
drink and smoke.
We drink
Yeah.
and we take a
We just
Lumen.
become fucking
We do the
pirates.
cannibal.
We drink and we fight and we fight and we drink and we drink.
Okay,
and we
so
We drink and we fight.
So I think it is something special with Rand, because there's this passage in the Dark Friend Social. Ravine had not even noticed the opening of a third gateway, showing a large room full of pools and fluted columns. And he doesn't notice when Lanfear initially channels in either.
Okay. Well, I mean, that might there might be a special circumstance around that I'm not going to bring up. That might explain away that for sure. But it might not be fun television to watch you guys puzzle that out. But yeah, that's a great point and it's a good pull. But
well, in the meantime, we do have another drinking obligation right after.
This is a chock full.
People don't want to see us.
So
puzzle
this is
things out. They
Rand.
just want to see us drink.
Rand ignored Lan. And I'll do a pause right before and just read the phrase. Rand ignored Lan. His side still wanted to hunch him over, but he managed to keep erect.
That's a good one. It reminds me
Attaboy.
to correct my posture and make me want to drink.
Yeah. Attaboy. Yeah.
That's something different with a cough drop in your mouth, I tell you what.
Moraine is diffident as fuck here. She is very submissive suddenly. She has sworn a vow to them. She is breaking it down here. She says, quote, I have given my entire life to the search for you, to find you and help you. You still not know your own strength. You cannot know half of what you do. I apologize most humbly for any offense I have given you. Let me help you as much as I can while I can. Please. And another drinking obligation because Rand says, you have handled me like a puppet.
God, Jesus, I know.
So I'm not the only one just drinking here, right? I mean,
it's blatant puppet discrimination.
It's puppet
It's puppet shaming. We're not standing for it.
Rules for you.
Guys, I don't write it. I just underline it.
All right, but before you go on, Dan, before you made that amazing point about the puppets.
Thank you.
What was it? Remind me, the last thing you just said before that. God, my brain. Jesus.
I know.
How about Moraine?
Yeah.
Let me help you as much as I can while I can.
Okay,
please.
yeah. So her apology, and then Rand saying, well, she can't lie. What does it mean to apologize?
Well, but he also said that she'll find holes in a stone.
Yep.
Something like that was a metaphor there, something like that. Where, I mean, it was interesting because she does find holes.
And Lan is stone-faced.
In everything that she does.
Yeah, no. It was interesting because Rand's like, oh, she can't lie, specifically about the apology. He was really impressed that she apologized. But what does it mean to apologize? Like, she's like,
so if I said sorry, then they really mean it, right?
She didn't say I'm sorry. She said I apologize.
I apologize most humbly for any offense I have given you. These words, which she had never thought to hear from her, came out as if dragged, but they came, and she could not lie. But they came. All right, goddamn.
Yeah. I don't think. Well, first, that's a drinking obligation. They came.
They came.
No, I mean, she basically says, I apologize that if you're offended by anything I did. I'm sorry you got butthurt, baby, basically. But she doesn't say I'm sorry, and he's so impressed. Like, I guess subsequently, like, I mean, so is she like bound in some way by this? Is this or right? Or what do you think's going on here with?
Well, she had in the last episode, she had pretty much sworn a vow.
Sorry.
Yeah. She had pretty much sworn a vow that she was going to obey Rand more or less. Right. Wasn't going to try and control him. Right? I mean, he was like, he was like, I'm my own man. I'm doing my own shit. Hey, sorry if you don't like it, and she said, you know what? You're right. I promise I'm gonna. Yeah, she like gave an oath, right? That Lan addresses here in this chapter. He's like, why'd you do that oath?
Yeah, she's like, well, I had sex with him in the wait gates, and it turned out really bad.
She was like, well, I saw,
Yeah, he became super clingy. He couldn't handle he just couldn't handle me, and I ruined the world because of my amazing snatch.
That's not what she said.
That's the only possible outcome of that. Like
she.
But how did it play out in your minds? Give me a scenario. So why was it so bad?
Because of her amazing snatch. It's not the words that I have in my brain.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was being crude.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking. I don't know. I didn't really play it out, actually.
She's just like, you
did.
They said it was really bad. I'm like, well,
does everyone play out those scenes? Like, of what could happen then?
Dan does facial expressions.
I do facial expressions.
I play these things out.
It's like,
if someone gives a wry laugh, I try to do.
Them having sex would have led to, in your mind, like it would have just led to her being so amazing at it.
Like she
would like, ruin him.
Yeah, she ruins him. Like he becomes a cuck. He can't focus on the task at hand.
All right.
Oh. Honey, that's your story.
Oh, right. Yeah, all right. It's quite the interpretation.
It is quite the
it's quite the interpretation.
Hey, I'm trying to improv this shit, and no one's else following me, so I'm just gonna slink away in shame. Well, apparently, I gave away too much.
I love that painting behind you.
Yeah,
Matt.
It's beautiful. Oh, is that from our friend Spare of Time, Ryan?
That is.
So is this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spare of Time, amazing art. I do believe we have two more to show.
We do, actually. So there's the one. It's incredible. I don't think this lighting does it justice, but I shall show you.
Merlin.
Two more.
Merlin.
Tom Merlin.
Yeah.
Here's your wolf brother boy.
Oh.
And this is Spare Time. Can you see this? He's amazing. He's so talented. Him and his son are so incredible too. I spoke to them for like 2 hours. I hung out.
Find them on Twitter.
They were probably really annoyed at me. They said they weren't, but
we all know.
You guys know. Anyways, you guys know how annoying I can be.
All right,
All
now
right.
this is look at that bad boy.
This is fucking incredible.
It's
Look
the
at that.
lamprey eel.
I mean, We're
this
does
having
not
lighting
do
issues.
it justice. You just can't see it well enough.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. All right. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah.
Awesome.
Aren't those incredible?
Let's talk about Rand's total pimp move in leaving.
Mm-hmm.
He's all right, I'm going to go. Opens up what he calls a gateway.
Mm-hmm. Gateway.
He made a hole in the air taller than he was, opening into blackness that made the moonlight seem day. A gateway, as Modian called it. What is that? Moraine gasped. Oh, I've done something. Oh, once I've done something, I remember how. Most of the time. Leave Matt alone. Don't worry about what this is. I've leveled up. And he steps out onto a disc. That is... he was standing on a disc, a 6-foot copy of the ancient Aes Sedai symbol. And the disc kind of whisks him through nothingness. Through... even the black half of it seemed lighter against the endless darkness that surrounded him above and below. He was sure that if he fell off, he would fall forever. Asmodean claimed there was a faster method called traveling for using a gateway, but he had not been able to teach it, partly because he didn't have the strength. Traveling required that you know your starting point very well. It seemed more logical to him that you would have to know where you were heading well, but Asmodean seemed to think that was like asking why air was not water. That
was interesting.
So he refers to this as skimming. Anyway, skimming was fast enough. And it says, as soon as he planted his boots on it, the disc lurched what seemed to be a foot and stopped. Another gateway appeared in front of it. Fast enough, especially over the short distance, Rand stepped into the hallway outside the room where Asmodean was. Pimp. So that's like having an elevator to your penthouse suite or something, where it just ding, ding, ding. There you go, sir.
And it's what they fought on when he chased Asmodean to Ruidian at the end of the last book. Yeah.
Did we see them? Do we see them earlier also? And I think
that ran upstairs before.
These kind of like stairs that he was making. Okay, yeah, that's different.
Well, during the battle in Tyr, I mean, it was different.
So it says here, in fact, he wondered why he had chosen the ancient symbol. It was his choice, if unconscious. Other times it had been stair step or a piece of floor.
Oh, stair step, piece of floor. Okay, he's done. Oh, okay. Either way, it's just he visualizes traveling, and that's kind of.
And I mean, I think this ties back to the MC Escher world that we've seen throughout in Perrin's Wolfstream, Teleranrihad. The actual where we saw the battle, right? Where we saw Lanfear, the three Forsaken fight when Perrin was watching from behind the balcony, and the fireball happens and part of it's destroyed, and then Lanfear runs through the scene. And whatever that was, the Teleranrihad or the Dream World.
So this is the part of Teleranrihad.
Or the thing that's underneath it.
The other layer.
Okay.
Another layer down.
Yeah.
Or something that which the waves travels through. It's kind of hard. I don't know. I don't know how they're all connected at this point. But
do you think that they all are?
They have to be.
I think they're interconnected in some way, but they're not the same necessarily.
Right.
New friend, Kitsunagari. Welcome.
Hi.
I like that.
I love that name.
Isn't that amazing?
I love the photo. Hello.
Oh, they have amazing costumes. If that's the same person, I think they're the most amazing cosplayers on Instagram.
Ooh.
I feel like we have a celebrity in chat. Keep going, you guys. Act normal.
So Rand shows up in front of Asmodean's place. He smells sulfur. He's like, "Oh, those fuckers have been
Darkhounds
here.
are here. Yeah.
They've fucking been here." He disappears all like the footprints in stone. He's like, I can't have them know that they're checking out Asmodean. Apparently, that's all they did. They just kind of like checked him out as Asmo was sleeping. They're like, all right, cool. And they bolted. Rand wasn't there. But Rand uses the power to restore the stone. He puffs him back out. He's like an auto body guy for cobblestones.
Right.
No, I can punch that out. Don't worry about it. I got a suction. I got a paw shape suction. That's kind of cool, I guess. Let's see. He in Asmodean's place. He has a little alcove that guess what? Was it at Asmodean's place? No, in his bedchamber.
In his bedchamber, yeah. So this is interesting. So when Lanfear pops in, he doesn't sense her.
Yes.
And Ryan, maybe this is what you were referring to about puzzling out, and we've talked about this before. I think Lanfear, and we've read something about this too, that Lanfear has access to something that isn't exactly the one power. It isn't Sidin or Sidar, but is something adjacent. What did you just say, Kay? I'm sorry, I was talking over you.
No, I'm sorry. I totally just interrupted. I was saying, isn't it a song? One of the Sangreals? Like, doesn't she think that the two of them can rule?
That's what's inside the thing. But what I'm talking about is when she. So we were talking about is Rand able to sense female channeling?
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't channel using Sidar,
mm-hmm.
would he still be able to perceive it? Because he doesn't sense her coming into the room. He only hears her speak, and he doesn't get the tingling. Just like Ravine didn't get the tingling when she appeared during the Dark Friend social. And Ryan was like, oh, maybe you guys don't want to puzzle this out. But I don't know if that's what you were referring to or not, Ryan. But it does. We've talked about this in the past. I think Lanfear has an adjacent thing to Sidar that is the one power, perhaps, or maybe something related to it, but isn't using one of the two flavors that we normally see men or women use.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. I love that.
Love that.
One
Yeah.
of the flavors. So Lanfear does pop up in his. He doesn't notice. She says. She always spoils it. She says stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you doing there?" Because he was setting his weaves. And he's like, "Fuck, it's Lanfear again. I didn't even know she was there."
Oh.
But he confesses to himself that he couldn't kill her, even if he tried. He killed a woman once, and he didn't like the taste of it. Yeah, didn't like the taste, so he's not going to try that one again.
Oh no!
He says some insulting shit to her, like as if he's Luce Theron, that he has no idea what he's talking about. He says, "quote You were always ambitious, Mirren." His voice grated in his ears. "Why do you think I turned away from you? It wasn't Ilyena, whatever you like to think. You were out of my heart long before I ever met her. Ambition is all there is to you. Power is all you ever wanted. You disgust me." She's like, "Luce Theron, I love you, Luce Theron. I've always loved you, and I always will. You know that you must." He's all, and it says Rand's face was like rock. That is a drinking obligation. Faces are not rocks unless you are Rand or Land, or any Shinarian.
So good.
Hey, Josh, Chad is wondering how many times you read the chapters each for each show?
Once, usually, sometimes twice.
Mm.
Depends on how many there are and how how much we're going to cover.
Yeah. Good. All right.
So Ryan, I'm going to throw you. I know you've been waiting forever for this.
Throw
There
me.
is
Throw
a
me.
suggestion
Research.
as far as my reading of some power sex going on here.
Mhm.
One power sex. Here's the quote. They hate loose Theron, but to the Forsaken, that was the same thing. Please, light, I am Randall Thor. He pushed away a sudden memory of this woman in his arms, both of them young and just learning what they could do with the power.
Yes.
We're talking power sex right there, guys.
That's
We're talking
amazing.
Hey, I'm gonna add a little. I'm gonna just do a tiny bit of fire, just a little whip of fire, and a little spirit, and maybe right after I'm gonna blow a little air, and
We'll just add a little bit of that.
woo! We're talking one power sex, guys. Can please get your chat, do your thing.
I saw
Your
fan pick me some one power sex.
I saw True Blood.
You gotta leave it to Dovie to
Dovie,
to be the first to
Fuck
say
yeah. They're talking some fucking. They're talking one power fucking. Guys, I am on board 100%.
Me too.
With one power fuck. I hadn't really thought of it.
it.
But boy, that line sure it was a jolt.
Yeah, no, and now you can imagine how enticing that is.
Right, because you guys, I mean, you can smell things from far away. You can hear wind. You can, taste caterpillars in the air. You can, whatever. You can hear a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, like you hear the chrysalis.
I'm just thinking. All I'm thinking about is True Blood vampire sex.
And then suddenly there's just like a little blast of spirit on your clit. Oh, come on, right? Spirit. I think spirit is the sex.
Come on,
what is the sex? What is the sex power? There's 5 of them. There's earth, wind, fire, water, airbending.
Airbending.
But I think spirit is the sex one. Anyways, Ryan, what do you think? I thought that you would be all over this.
I'm all into it, and I didn't think
right?
we were going to be so graphic.
What little spirit on the clit? Is that what?
As your younger brother, it's really hard to hear you say that word. Just got to be honest. I'm throwing up a little in my mouth.
Ryan, it has as many nerve endings as the penis.
Is that true?
That's what I heard from your sex ed class.
Wrong. What's wrong? What?
Full circle, guys. Full circle.
Yeah. What are you reading? Are you reading Teen Vogue again?
Teen Vogue, dear Teen Vogue. My crush saw me open my locker and said, "What a mess."
This is what I'm talking about.
I get kicked out of so many bookstores for reading Teen Vogue.
My crush saw me spying on him in the library, and I'm so embarrassed.
What quiz did you take in the bathroom this morning on that Teen Vogue?
If I was Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Yeah.
And
what did you get? That was 20 years ago, but cool.
No, yeah, it was in a doctor's office. It wasn't mine.
Yeah,
it wasn't a new one.
Yeah.
But it was a quiz nonetheless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned out I was Team Edward. I was a little surprised. I thought I was going to Team Jacob, but I was Team Edward.
Do you know my sister actually went to school? She went to high school with the guy who played. Which one's the wolf guy?
Taylor Hawking?
Taylor. She went to school with him.
Is it Taylor Hawking?
My sister went to school with that dude.
No, Taylor Hawking was the drummer from Foo Fighters.
No, not Taylor.
Dang it! It was Taylor something though.
It's Taylor something. That's not the last name, but it's Taylor something.
R.I.P.
Anyway, no biggie. Who cares?
I think that's awesome. I
No,
bet. Was he
it's kind of
popular in
not.
high
It's
school?
just
He
a
seemed
stupid
Taylor
thing.
Taylor Hotler.
Lautner, thank you.
Hotler.
Yep. Mhm.
Yo, argur.
That's the one. That
All right.
little dude.
There was another puppet reference here, guys. I'm tired of having to drink for him, and this is empty, so I have one more.
Oh boy.
I do.
Oh boy. Hey, this show is brought to you by Village Mattress.
Village
Yeah.
Mattress.
Are you
The
looking for a
official-
good night's sleep?
Is he still
Yeah.
around? He generally has to split. Oh, Diljeet's there. Diljit, how's your shirt fit? How's it feel? I want an update. I want to know. I want to know what love is.
I want to know how a shirt
I was hoping
feels.
you would sing.
No. I want you
Okay.
to show me.
Oh my god.
Lanfear's like, hey, you ward your dreams against me. He's like, I do it for everyone. Don't feel special. She's like, she says, quote, dreams are
Damn
mine.
it.
You and your dreams are mine especially. I can break through your warding. You would not like it. She spies on the wise ones. She says she's been checking out Egwin's dreams, and guess who Egwin is dreaming about? The hot boys of
Gone.
G.
Gone with the wind.
Gone with the
Morgan's-
winds, exactly.
Morgase's
Yeah.
son and stepson.
Yeah, and stepson. Sick. Sicko. Sick.
Hold
That
on.
part made me
You
throw
haven't
up a
seen
bit.
the direction that porn has gone in the last 18 months or so. Step, insert the blank, is all the rage.
Mhm.
So Egwin, Gawain, and Galad
Steph Gwynn.
Gross.
is Egwin does Camelin. You know what I mean?
No.
Egwin does Andor. That's better. So she says, yeah, the son Gawain most often. You would not believe a simple country girl could have such dreams. Woohoo! Everyone's having fuck dreams, guys. Everyone is having fuck
Yes.
dreams, and I am here for it. This is a
And I am
repressed
here for it.
people for the most part. So yeah, let loose in your dreams, baby. And Lanfear is quite the perv.
Mm.
Egwin is
That's a
too,
douche.
for that matter.
Egwin's a perv?
Yeah, she was creeping on all
And
kinds of
into
dreams.
people's dreams, sex dreams, even.
Mhm. Where
And
is
then
this
she's
echo
got the
coming from?
audacity to get pissed off about it in her own head, even though she does have the sense to not get pissed off outwardly, which I appreciated.
Mhm.
At least so far, right?
Ryan, you're hearing an echo?
I think I fixed it.
Okay. All right, good. Let's see. So Rand explains that
Wait, I just for the record, I guess I'm a perv too because I'd be doing the same thing. I'm on Team Egwin.
You'd be just jumping into people's dreams.
all right, well,
if you could.
let's put
If
a
I
pin in
get,
that, Ryan. Put a pin in that. Let's finish the
I'll
next
put
two
more than
pages,
that in it.
and then we'll get into Egwin's dream assaults.
Well, I'm glad that you.
Let's go. Yep. All right. I just wanted to make sure that it felt good.
Glad to hear it, Diljit. That's awesome.
Yeah. Those
Nice.
pictures are great. In fact, we're going to use those pictures for marketing. They're so
my
great.
gosh. Those photos.
Yeah.
So hot. So hot.
hot. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And the cousin-
Auga.
You're talking about the dog, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
He had a
yeah. The person
beautiful
was
dog.
kind of hot, but the dog.
It was
The dog.
amazing.
I'm kidding. No, the. Huh. Okay, we have to. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have to show
yeah.
people what we're
Those are
talking
good.
about,
We'll post
or
them up.
what we're not able
Right,
to
maybe you can
express
pull them
with
up.
words. Because a
Yeah,
photo is
Discord.
worth 1,000 words.
I don't know. If not, no big deal. Okay.
Got it.
Well, we're gonna make a whole like advertisement.
They're so good.
I mean, we're in the middle of doing that, so I think we could do the whole reveal then too, right? I don't.
Yeah, good idea.
Or if you have it, I don't know.
Let's move on.
Whatever works. It's amazing though. Once we see it, it'll be incredible, and yeah, I think it'll be great when we have it all like put together.
You know, and actually, there was one thing I really wanted to comment on in the last chapter that I did not. Josh and Kay. Avienda was obviously beaten. When Egwene enters the tent, she sees that Avienda is a little tender sitting down. And when she leaves, Avienda mentions it, and they said, "Oh yeah, she said that she had lied to someone twice in a day, and so I beat her.
Been switched, right?
And I gave her a
Been
few
switched,
extras because her G isn't to me, or her toe is not to me. She is G a toe. It ain't for me, but so I beat her just for her ruining my day.
Jesus. So capricious.
But she lied twice in a day. Did that ring it?
I knew what it was.
Oh, all right, Josh. What is your theory?
Okay.
Nope.
I'll weigh in first. No, come on.
Go.
An idea?
No. You got this.
Saying that she hated Rand.
Okay. When she
Yes.
says I hate you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she said it a few times. I think she said it more than twice.
No.
Well,
So she said that she had to make something and give it to the 3 people she hate the most. And Rand said, was I one of them? She said, yes. I hate you. I hate you so much, Rand. I hate you so much.
Well, I don't think that's exactly how it goes. Well, that's fine.
I think she says it more than twice, though.
I hate you.
Well, saying I hate you could have been one of the lies, and then the other was that she didn't have any feelings for him. Or that the belt that she gave him didn't mean anything.
It meant nothing.
That it didn't mean anything. That wasn't important. Yeah.
Okay.
Like just the lack of feelings for Rand.
Okay.
That seemed to be the lies to me as well.
I thought so too, yeah.
That makes sense.
What did you guys? I'm not trying to ask you. What did you guys think the lies were?
I know. I know. We're the experts here, right? Look at Ryan's glasses. Obviously, we know the answers. We're asking your limited opinions.
Stuttering. No.
Over there.
Look at Josh's beanie. Kind of looks like a microphone. No, keep looking down. It kind of looks like a microphone.
It's a Shure SM50.
It does look like a microphone.
SM50. Yeah.
You know how to distract me so well, brother Dan. Stop it.
Doesn't it?
It does. It does look like a microphone.
It's a bit. It looks awesome.
One.
Or
yeah,
like
tap.
is so impervious.
Rouse the spears. We leave as soon as after first light as you can manage. Rand hears that the Shido are on the fucking move, man. They're off to Jangai Pass. It's a pass where like you take out little pieces of the rock down on the base and you keep taking these like little pieces out, and then finally the Jangai falls. Jenga?
Yeah, no, okay. I love it. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here for it, Dan.
All right. Thanks.
So she says,
I was in reverence to that. Silence was reverential.
Sorry.
Go on,
not
Josh.
paying attention. I was spacing out because I was reading
We get some great comments. Yeah, what's that, Josh?
Avienda, was I one of those who you hate so much? Yes, Randall Thor. She suddenly sounded hoarse. For a moment, she turned her face away, eyes shut and quivering. I hate you with all my heart. I do, and I always will. That's the extent of it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I mean, those are two lies.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the truth?
I love you, and I want to be with you forever.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Two lies and a truth. That's okay. Okay. Well, and then she got her ass kicked for it. Awesome.
Okay.
I guess.
Masochist.
I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, right. Right.
So it says the Shido moving in the rain, the Miagama, the Shande, every clan. Joining Cooladin or me, Rand demanded. The Shido moving toward the Jangai Pass. For the others,
It's too early to tell.
But they are on the march with every spear not needed to defend their holds, herds, and flocks. So Rand thinks that Cooladin had to plan a crossing into Kyrian. He's like, so much for his grand schemes of imposing peace. If the Shido ravaged Kyrian even further while he sat in Ruidin waiting for the other clans, he's like, fuck it. Fuck it, we'll go live.
Yep. We'll do it live.
Let's go. I'm not going to sit here and find out. If I can't catch Cooladin, I mean to be right behind him into Kyrian. Rouse the spears.
Rouse the spears.
Anything about that chapter
feels
before
like
we
a
jump
drinking
into chapter
obligation.
7?
Rouse the spears.
Well, that's
There's a couple in here on chapter 7.
Yeah. Just a few.
There's a great one, actually. It's like my favorite one, I think.
Yeah, which one is it?
Hold on, we'll get to it. And needles.
Did Santa come, Daddy? Did Santa come, Daddy?
Hey! Is your butt asleep, or are you sitting on pins and needles?
I'm sitting on pins and needles. Or it might be asleep.
Both.
Chapter 7 is a small chapter. It is called A Departure. It has the dragon as the emblem, and it is an Egwene chapter. She is getting up mourning. Everyone's packing up. They're going west. This is where she did kind of share a little smile with Amos because she did find her in the dreamland. They had some tea.
Oh, yeah.
It said they sipped tea in the dream in Cold Rock's Hold early on an evening where children were playing amongst the crop-planted terraces, and a pleasant breeze blew down the valley as the sun sank. I ask you, Josh and Kay, when you come back, can you control the temp? Can you just have like a totally pleasant evening every time you walk into Tel'aran'rhiod? Can you control that shit? Can you like have, all right, I'm setting it where it's like 73 degrees with a nice 8 mile per hour breeze, and it's always 6 p.m. where the sun is just going down.
Maybe if you're a wise one, a dreamwalker.
Yeah.
Maybe,
What do you think,
yeah.
Kay? Can you control your environment, including time like that, or at least like? I mean, it seems like they had this nice tea with where the sun was early on an evening. A pleasant breeze blew down the valley as the sun sank. But this was the middle of the night.
Well, I mean, it does seem like they can control that because, yeah, you're right. The setting changes in the dream, so it does seem like that's. Well, I mean, maybe it's just what the dream is about, what is actually existing for the person's dream.
Okay, so I think
actually like the person that's entering the dream that's controlling that. They're entering somebody else's mind. To me, that means like more of like a Stranger Things type of situation, where like they'd they'd go into the other person's consciousness. So whatever that person's consciousness is or subconsciousness is experiencing then, and whatever that atmosphere looks like at that time would be, I think, what might be the experience overall.
Yeah, I don't think this is the TAR. I agree with you, Kay. I think this is her dream.
Yeah.
She's entering her dream. She's not entering the Tel'aran'rhiod. She's skimming for dreams and finding them and then entering it. And then they experienced her dream together. And we've already read several times that the wise ones the dreamwalkers have great control over their dreams.
Yeah, they're lucid as fuck.
So I would expect that, in the TAR, at least in the wolf dream, we know that it's concurrent with time in the real world, in the consensus reality, right? At least in terms of Perrin and Slayer's battle that occurred.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
So I don't think they can control the TAR, but they can control their own dreams.
Right. Agreed.
So
I don't think that they
what
can control
Slayer
the whole thing.
and Perrin were doing, that was just their own little side quest, and there was nothing else. Like, the wise ones would have to enter a Perrin's dream in order to participate in that.
Well, we know that the Aiel Waste is is hours separate time zone from where Perrin was, right, or where Egwene was during her initial meeting of the Dreamwalker, and it was daytime in the dream world when she entered the dream where she met the first, right, and it was nighttime where she was. So in TAR, time is concurrent with the real world, the consensus reality, but in dreams it's not, because it's your dream.
Okay.
If that makes
I
sense.
love that you're calling it TAR, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like super cool that you just slid that in there, and we're all like, yeah, totally.
We know it's
Yeah,
TAR.
yeah, TAR. Yup.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question specifically here.
That's great.
Did you have any reaction to Egwene entering these people's dreams?
I don't like to be asked questions specifically.
I know. That's why I'm doing it gently. And I think that you'll have the best reaction here. I mean,
okay, well, the fact that you said that first threw me off a little bit. Can you just repeat the question?
Yeah. The fact that you said K, and she goes zoinks.
What? I'm all of a sudden not paying attention.
Did you have any reaction to Egwene entering people's dreams?
No, what? Say it again.
Did you have any reaction to Egwene entering people's dreams without consent, per se?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. Talk to me.
It was stupid. She's an idiot. I mean, you don't get to do that. That's somebody else's consciousness. It's not ethical. It's not okay to do. Like, it's like just slipping into their vagina when they're asleep. You can't do that. It's not okay.
It's sleep rape?
It feels rapey to me.
But the wise
it
ones
didn't feel
encourage
comfortable
this.
anyways, and she ended up regretting it too. So I mean, she even proved that to herself that it was like a fucked up thing to do.
But the wise ones are encouraging her to do this.
I don't like any of that. Honestly.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, how is it different from Perrin turning into Miss and watching through the windows in the space-time window place where he saw Balsamon come in and vaporize the dude a few books ago?
Yeah. No, I think thinks they're similar, right? That'd be the same kind of.
So is that how you're seeing it? She's just kind of like the face up in the ceiling.
Yeah, she's
watching
like
TV, and she's just
because they don't have any knowledge. It seems, anyways, that they don't have knowledge of her having seen their dream. right? So like
even
obviously,
even the dreamwalkers, even the other dreamwalkers,
yeah, they don't
she
even
was
know
able
that
to look
Egwin's there.
in, but as long as she didn't enter, they
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, so she could like see kind of on this. I was envisioning like an outer bubble, you know, like type thing. Like she's like
Okay.
right outside of like the bubble,
Mm.
and
Nice, yeah.
she can see it, but she can see everything that's happening, but they can't see her, which is an interesting thing because I don't think we've seen that with any other character, right?
So how does this differ? No, we do. Perrin has those visions that have the movie screens that show up.
Right.
We got another echo again. Perrin has those movie screens that show up in the wolf dream of his friends' experiences.
Can everybody mute on Discord, please? Pretty please. We don't have the ability to mute you guys, but I know that the echo is coming from Discord, actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't hit mute. We want to keep it going, but we need a mic discipline, y'all.
Yeah. And we
So
definitely have an echo. So,
but Perrin. So when. Let's compare what Egwin is going through with Hopper. And he's like, "You're here too strongly." Is that the same thing as entering someone's dream all the way?
I don't think so. I think it's the same as entering TAVERN. The danger that the Dreamwalkers tell her is omnipresent if she comes into the dream world unprepared, into the TAVERN unprepared. That there are beings or entities within the TAVERN that can be problematic for you if you come in unshielded and unprepared.
Okay, right on.
Okay, does that fit your perception?
yeah, no, didn't she say like something exactly like that?
I think so.
I think she did.
Yeah,
I thought she did.
I think
I'd like to find it, but I think she did because as you were saying that, I remembered actually hearing it for some reason. I don't know how.
Well, apparently, Egwin, to me, in my reading, seems to be judging people by their dreams, which is kind of sucky. You can't control your dreams. It says, quote, when she saw, by the way, the thick, hawk-nosed merchant. God damn you, Robert Jordan. I do not like that characterization. But Egwin ignored him frostily. His dreams had been decidedly dark and unpleasant when they were not lewd as well. So she watched him for a while. She's like, I hate this channel. But she watched him for a while.
Yep.
He got to have his head dunked in a cask of blue spine tea, she thought grimly. You know what? So it's like Egwin and Perrin both have these advantages on these people, and Perrin doesn't seem to be using dream things against anyone. He just is able to smell their hidden emotions and all that shit. But freaking Egwin is just sitting there judging people. She judges Matt. She's like, I didn't want to go in his dreams. They were all just fucking dreams. Everyone just fucks in their dreams.
Yeah.
But Ascendre, she was like, yeah, Ascendre had a horrible dream. Yeah, poor girl. She had a bad dream. So it seems like whose dream did Egwin not go into last night?
Yeah, she's a little whore. She just like inserted herself into everybody's brains and just decided to just visit.
Just because she can.
If I had this power, I would never sleep.
Exactly.
I would just be invading people's dreams left and right.
So
it'd be
that's all fine because whatever. Like we're not here to talk about that because we can't do that kind of shit. But like that is like fine, right? But like
it totally would.
It's super creepy.
Yeah, I'm skeeve. I'm totally skeevy.
Like, ugh, it just feels so invasive.
What do you make of this sentence? She's thinking about Isindra. She says she did not want to think about her glimpse of the woman's dreams just before Kawinda had come to rouse her. They had been nightmares of torture, of things being done to the woman that sent Egwin fleeing in horror, and with something dark and evil laughing as it watched her run.
Yeah.
So something
So
other
something
than
saw Egwene.
Egwene, running away and laughed as
Yeah.
it watched Egwene run away from the dreams.
Yeah. No, I mean, doesn't it seem like Isindra might be just consumed by a piece of the dark one or the dark one or the great lord is the great lord
We do know she's
Jesus.
a dark friend.
like could be like just infiltrating this aspect of of Isindra's brain specifically, or mind, I guess.
Possibly, I interpreted it as so. The timeline in my mind is Lanfear came in the evening and talked to Rand. Rand put into her mind that she should be jealous further of Isindra, and so she came during Isindra's sleep and tortured her. And that who it is that's laughing is Lanfear.
Really?
That's how I read
that
it.
Makes sense.
But
Well, I mean, that's
I was
like
curious
an
if anyone else read it that
essence
way.
of the dark
That's
one, though, right? Like,
because
it's the Forsaken, so it's like it's one of them.
And
One
we
of
know
them.
that Lanfear is watching Egwene as well. So it all kind of
Right.
ties together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We also don't know if every dark friend doesn't have a similar dream. Maybe
Right.
that's part of the pact. Is you're just scared at night.
Well, yeah, but Kadir's dreams weren't like that.
They were. What was it? It was dark.
Well, but
Decidedly
Lanfear's like
dark and
super
unpleasant.
psycho. Like
But,
she's crazy over Rand, and she's super possessive, and so there's like a weird thing there that's going on where she I think would be the person to just jump into anybody and everybody's shit before anybody else, and especially if she thinks or knows, and which she clearly seems to have an inkling that Egwene and others are jumping into other, or like at least able to observe other people's dreams, and so or situations, and that I think kind of puts her on tilt. What the hell has happened?
I'm listening.
Everybody.
I'm listening. Fuck them. Fuck them, Kay.
But it's just pretty cool. Right?
And you know what? Imagine me and you and me. No matter. Oh,
no, what happened there?
It's meant to be.
I somehow hit the back button on my browser or something.
It's magic number. And I said 3. It's magic. Do you remember that from
3?
Schoolhouse Rock?
Magic number. Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, is that Three's Company? Wait, no.
1 + 1 + 1 is 3.
Yeah, it's I have that record.
Let's see. It's magic number.
I don't know.
Let's see. Egwene is again a judgmental bitch here.
She is, yeah, total judgmental bitch here.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
She
How do you
sees
get to be
Rand.
judgy? Nope.
Rand, he's wearing a shufa. He's wearing a blue silk coat with enough gold embroidery to befit a palace, though hung open halfway down the front. His belt had a new buckle, an elaborate thing shaped like a dragon. He really was beginning to think a great deal of himself. That was clear. We know where he got this buckle.
I really like that question, Mauricio.
Anyone wonder how they policed malicious dreams walking?
Dreamwalking.
That's a good question. I mean, how do you police something like that? You have to have, I guess, an honest dream walker. Like somebody.
I would assume people just warded themselves like Rand does.
I like to even go further and think that there was like an OnlyFans for dreams. Marisu, what do you think?
You dream streamer?
I'm a dream streamer.
Dream streamer. I believe you can dream my dream.
Hey, if you come all the way in, you're in my dream, baby.
So funny.
So let's see. And again, judgmental bitch. She sees Matt.
Judgy.
Quote, as usual, his high-collared green coat looked slept in. We know he didn't sleep in his coat. He was fucking. He didn't sleep in any clothes. We saw his dong. He opened the door with his dong. He's like,
it's like down to his knee.
Ring.
It's clearly down to his knee, right?
It's he's slanging. He had no care. He's like, oh, hey, Rand. How's it going, buddy? He's leaning against the freaking thing. He's like, yep, sway. He's like, you see that? See my girl back there? Yeah, baby.
Oh, Mr. R is back.
Oh,
Thank you, librarian.
Have you all been good?
No, librarian, we've been naughty.
Matt's like, hey, did you just see what happened? Rand told Moraine to stand over there, and she listened. Chortled. Quote, she nearly embraced Saidar and taught him a lesson right there in front of everybody. Fuck you, Egwin. You are not charismatic in this chapter one bit. You woke up on the wrong side of the pallet.
She's real cunty in this one. I'm not.
Again, she's really young.
Hey, you know what? There was a.
Fine. You're right. She's really young.
But to think that she could teach him a lesson is kind of.
This is her way. She's always this way. This is how she's always been. When Rand's talking to Moraine as a peer, Egwin's like, show some respect. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk. It's like, hey, the adults are talking. Do you mind? Blah, blah, blah.
Seriously. I'm with Diljit on this one.
Yeah, Diljit. We're all
we agree. We're on the same page.
Yeah, that's fucked up, and it's really not cool.
So yeah, to your question about policing it, probably can't.
Especially when Lanfear says that she can break through his wards.
Yeah. I just realized the shadow on this painting behind me makes my hat look like it kind of curves to the side, but it doesn't.
It's moving. Okay.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a little cone head.
Like it goes, whoo. But that's not my hat.
Okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So yeah, I don't think Egwin comes off very well in this chapter. She is judgy. She's wrong about the belt buckle. Don't you know what? Free your mind, and the rest will follow. Be colorblind. Don't be so shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And we learned that the necklace that Rand was. I mean, all the pieces are coming together, Josh. The necklace that Rand was a little jealous about. It was a gift from Avienda. They're all just giving each other gifts. It's like a Christmas miracle. Gave Avienda snowflakes. The irony, right?
That is not where I thought you were going with that. I love it. Oh, I love being surprised. It's so great.
Here's my favorite drinking obligation quote that I've come across this book so far. Okay. I'll just read the phrase itself. And behind her, Rand came.
Yep.
Right, nice giggle.
Yep, that was a good giggle. That was awesome.
That was because Egwin had invaded Avienda's dream. She is snooping all over the place. And she saw that Rand was as big as an Ogier chasing her, going, oh, and Behind her, Rand came. Anyways,
Cute.
It never gets old.
dirty. Ryan, our show's dirty.
No, we talked about this. Tuesdays dirty,
Not
Sundays
suitable for
classy.
children.
Sunday's classy.
Sunday classy, Tuesdays true to form.
So Rand was talking to he's like pretty much setting his shit up. He's like, all right, tell the Ogier they can do whatever. And tabula rasa. Guys, do your shit. Pretend it was your mom's garden, would you? And Egwin's like, oh, that's smart. Ogier are awesome. And one of the he gets on his horse, and one of the Aiel is like, hey, Karkon. Quote, do you mean to leave the threefold land forever? You have spoken as if you'll never return. He responds by saying, quote, I hope to return, but who can say what will happen? The wheel weaves as the wheel will. There's your obligation right there.
Yeah.
When you put off a group, when you put off a legitimate question by saying the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, that is the obligation.
Too legit.
But he says,
do you remember that song?
But I will leave you something to remember me by. And suddenly all the fountains in Roniel start spouting. They had They had fountains of dolphins. Do you think the IEO even knew what a dolphin was?
They don't know what a frog is.
They don't know what a frog is. They know what a toad is. But not a frog. You know, I remember, Ryan, when I would get tadpoles by the wash.
By the wash. Yeah, tadpoles in the wash.
I'm like, was it ditch? No, not ditch.
It was a ditch.
It was
a wash and tadpoles.
I get a crawdad once or twice. I don't know why they're called crawdads. They were more like crawbabies.
You know what's so stupid about that story is that I was in Santa Clarita, California. It's not even like I grew up somewhere.
Crawdad capital of
Interesting.
California.
I'm just like,
I was picturing like you were Huck Finn.
Yeah,
after you were whitewashing a fence, you got on like a raft.
No, she's
on
like a
that was like really logs.
We were in a condo.
I believe she didn't say tadpole either. She said pollywogs in the wash.
Pollywogs, that's right.
Even better. Even better. Even better.
Pollywogs in the wash.
Literally.
Brother Dan's thinking Thoreau, and it's more like Charles Bukowski.
I always let them grow up. I like to watch their little legs sprout, and then I released them into a lake.
What? Just with legs? They were predatory with legs. You would like disturb their development. You're like, now
they got like 4 little legs. You know, this is my frog impression.
And behind her, Rand came.
Right, like as they're like trying to figure it out, they're like,
and they're like, "Mommy, why?"
They don't make that sound, but you know, they're like, "No, they were fine." I don't really remember, but I mean, I think they were. I remember releasing them; they were cool, so they were fun.
Avienda's badass right here. Egwin's like, you don't have to be afraid of Rand. She's like, I'm not afraid of any man. I want no trouble between us, Egwin, but you should not say such things. She's like, yo, you're gonna, yo. I mean, that's the equivalent of yo. Back the fuck off.
Yeah, we throwing hands.
I want no trouble between us. Yo, I don't want no trouble, but you better keep my fucking wife's mouth out of
your fucking face.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
All the fountains start spouting. Awesome. Avienda is stoked. Open wonder shone on her face. So much water delighted the IO woman as the finest silk dress may have Egwin or a garden full of flowers. Barf. Egwin is the worst in this chapter.
She is.
She really is.
She's equating water to a bunch of silk dresses. What is she? Egwin Kardashian?
I don't. I mean, yeah.
She's not very charismatic here at all, except for the fact that she's taken on both the brother and the stepbrother. Okay, Google it.
In her dream.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Literally.
Fuck yeah, baby.
Dreams, baby.
Dreams. I mean.
Hey, let's talk about that one power sex again. You guys, no, just kidding. I think we exhausted it. Man, we did not exhaust it.
We did not.
What does an Angreal do?
It's definitely.
What if you throw Angreal into the mix? I mean, you throw that little fat man in.
What if you throw the oath rod into the mix?
Totally. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
Right? I was like, if Todd was here, he would say oath rod needs to be there.
Whoa.
In this one power sexy dream.
Heavy, baby.
Whoa.
Just saying. Heavy. Yeah. Nice. We're channeling Todd right now. Good job.
And
Todd.
so So Rand is like, regulators, ride. Whoever's not ready will catch up. Let's go. Hey, what the baby tomato say when he fell off the table? Catch up.
Catch up. No.
Come on, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Papa tomato, baby tomato, mama tomato.
There's a moment for
Baby tomato starts lagging behind. Papa tomato turns around and says, catch up.
Catch up.
I got you. I got you, brother Dan. Catch up.
Then we jump to a Moraine point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, Josh, this little Egwin chapter does end with
Egwin, the oral line.
Yeah, did not give up on a problem once she had her teeth into it. And she put her arm in a viper den. She's all
Why did Rand let such a bootlicker stay near him?
Yeah. It's got to be weird seeing Jason Natal like always around Rand. Let's say you're Moraine, and you're like, wait a minute, you're just gonna have like this is your own personal like radio. He's like, yeah, no, I like listening to music while I'm anything you can say. I'm not turning my radio off, Moraine. I don't know. It's kind of fun. But it is a little Yoko. I mean, it's like, suddenly this dude's always there. Suddenly there's maidens all around. Suddenly you can't get Rand by himself anymore. He's always surrounded by cats.
Suddenly. Oh no, that's yesterday. COVID brain.
Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There you go.
Thank you.
I bail you out. If your boat has a leak, I'll bail you out.
You're the best. Thank you.
We get to Moraine. Moraine is like, she's looking over the plaza. She's seeing there's a bunch of Angreal and shit still being left. She's like, man, I wish I could take it all, but what do you know? Can't. We learn a little bit about the ring. So I don't know if we know that it says, quote, for countless years, the second test faced by an IO woman who wanted to be a wise one had been to enter the array of glittering glass columns, seeing exactly what the men saw. The wise ones claimed that only men needed visible signs. For a woman to be alive was enough. They were not marked. The first test, the first winnowing before any training even, was to step through one of those 3 rings. Which one did not matter, or perhaps the choice was a matter of fate.
Right.
That step seemingly took her through her life again and again. Her future spread out before her, all of the possible futures based on every decision she might make for the rest of her life. Death was possible in those too. Some women could not face the future any more than others could face the past. All possible futures were too many for her mind to retain, of course. They jumbled together and faded away for the most part, but a woman gained a sense of things that would happen in her life, that must happen, that might happen. Usually, even that was hidden until the moment was on her. Not always, though. Moraine had been through those rings.
Flicker, flicker.
Right? It does seem a lot like that.
Totally flicker, flicker moment.
A spoonful of hope and a cup of despair.
Well, let me ask you, though. So it says here that they seem to gather knowledge from that, though. Right? All the possible futures based on every decision she might make for the rest of her life. Things that would happen in her life that must happen,
that might happen. Yeah.
Was that the same situation with flicker, flicker, flicker?
No. But I mean, she does see a bunch of things that could be her future.
Right, but I guess is it like
it's not the,
how
it
does the
it's more directed. I feel like it's
situation. I didn't feel like it was anyways. But what do you think, Josh? Sorry.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I think it's more like it's like the flicker flicker, but where the flicker flicker was random, the ring channels it to have a purpose.
Yeah, more purposeful than like sporadic.
Random,
like the randomness of the flicker flicker situation. I agree.
That was my
Moraine
impression.
does mention that if she tried to fuck Rand, she saw that in the future, and that turned out to be a disaster. So, yeah. So I think flicker flicker does have that same quality of that you could see where things would not work.
Right. Yes.
Maybe.
The same aspect in that way for sure. Where there's that foresight to see that, yeah.
But there was
fucking Rand for Moraine would not be a good idea.
It was all bad though. I don't remember a good outcome. It was all I win again, lose Theron. I win again, lose Theron. I win again, lose Theron. It was all him dying in vain, no matter what he did, and then hearing I win again, lose Theron.
I thought there was one path where he succeeded.
Did he?
I thought there was one, but
I feel like there was one too, but I don't recall what it was, and so I have to go back. But
okay. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just, I'm wondering. But that I got the same impression with this, where the all possible futures were laid out before him.
And yeah, regardless, it's just well, and Moraine has like the different situations as well, right? Because she sees like how calamity would happen. Was it calamity? What was the word she used?
Calamity.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. How did I pull that out of my brain? I don't know.
Nice one.
Thank you. Happens rarely. So, yeah, she did that. I mean, she was just like, that's what would happen if I was to fuck Rand. And there were lots of things. Josh.
It's true, Glenn.
Lan kind of comes up to Moraine and is like,
KayK's a joke. A bad joke.
Well, first he says, I don't like seeing you like this. He shows concern at first. He's like, you look, quote, worried, afraid. I've never seen you afraid. Not when we had Trollocs and Marrowdraw swarming over us. Not even when you learn the Forsaken were loose and Samael was sitting almost on top of us. Is the end coming? And then he cracks the jokes. I mean, I don't know if he just like gallows humor, if he just was trying to read the room and being like, well, let me try and crack smart. But he says, perhaps it will help your humility grow if he tells you to fetch his slippers and light his pipe. She stared at him. Could that be a joke? If so, it wasn't amusing. But then she later goes on and says, if Lan was attempting jokes, however feeble and wrong-headed, he was changing. Some said he wooed death the way a bridegroom wooed his bride, and he would never give his unbreakable. What he said, he had two things. He said, a sword that would not break and a war that could not end. He would never gift a bride with those. That at least Moiraine had taken care of, though he would not know how until it was done. If he did, he would very probably try to change matters. Stubborn fool man that he could be. What is she referring to here?
I was going to ask the same thing because I honestly don't know. This was my big question of these chapters specifically, was this part. Like, what the fuck just happened? She switched everything. I don't understand what happened. Josh, did you get it? Because I did not. What did you make of this whole part?
That he can't gift a bride because of the bond that Moiraine had put on him.
No, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't gift a bride with something.
Well, that's like his thought.
Like those things, right?
Right, because he doesn't want to burden them.
Okay, so yeah, what with the Moiraine?
There's two sides. There's what he thinks.
Right.
I wouldn't want to burden a woman with these things, therefore I won't have a bride.
Right.
But then Moiraine, through her bond to him, has made it so that he cannot have a woman.
Oh, and that's why she made sure of it. She's made sure of this so far, type of thing. When she says that,
at least Moiraine had taken care of, though he would not know how until it was done.
Yeah.
Right. And then it says if he did, he would very probably try to change matters. So there is a suggestion that there is something going on that Lan is not aware of, and he is aware of his water bond.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. They're talking about humility. Lan is awesome. He says, my humility is honed to razor sharpness. You never let it grow too dull. And then he wets a scarf, like a rag, and gives it to her, and she puts it on her temples. It's so cute.
It's pretty cute. I mean, Lan's kind of, stone-faced, kind of bland some of the time, lots of the time to me. But like these moments happen where, like, when he does something wholeheartedly and very profoundly, and that's pretty cool about his character, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he shows concern. He's like, I don't like seeing you like this.
Yeah, he's very concerned.
You're scared. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
The last paragraph is Moiraine looking at the terrain. I think it's an interesting way to end this paragraph. She's just kind of, as they're leaving, generally the way that Robert Jordan works is he'll introduce this setting, the scene, have all the descriptors of the the land right up front, rather than waiting for the last paragraph to throw this in. But it's kind of cool. And then, but she noticed at the last sentence here, it says, but Lan was not the only one changing or being changed. She wished she could see what Rand would make of the IEO in the end. There was a long journey ahead for everyone.
Could it be that Moiraine already set their bond to be severed so that he could be with Nynaeve?
I feel like there may have been some foresight with that, honestly. And I'm
That's the only other thing
I'm not
I
even
can.
sure- I'm not even sure why I think that at the moment.
That's the only reverse
Why don't
thing
you
that
say-
I can think is that she did something to their connection already to enable it to be severed so that he could survive beyond it rather than die like Tomas.
Right. Well, yeah. Right? Yeah.
Okay. So
Maureen's a planner and she's like about the big picture.
And she
I do
knows her
feel
future,
like-
as we've been
Yeah,
told.
she knows what's gonna happen. So like I do feel like she sets Lan up for the ability to have something. I mean,
is that something naive?
I don't know. I hope. At
I
this
assume
point.
so with the comments about the ring, tying his heart around a string around her neck.
Right.
But I mean, what if
he
she
had long
has, like,
claimed that
some
he had
other-
no heart, but he had found one this past year. Found it when a woman tied it on a string to hang around her neck.
Right.
Awesome line, actually.
It is. I like that part.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're right at 3 hours. Right on time.
Yeah. I think we're. Is there anything that we missed on these chapters that you wanted?
Oh gosh, if there
really have to
is,
talk
I wouldn't know it at this point.
No, I hear you. Then we will do 3 chapters next week as well.
Cool.
I think we should whip through this.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So
Let's
it'll be
do it.
chapters 8, 9, and 10 next Tuesday, and then I am not going to be on the show for a few weeks. I'm going to be traveling to Ireland. So
Yes, we're gonna miss you, but we're gonna carry on,
can't wait.
and we'll be here.
Just like we carried
regardless.
on when Ryan just boned out. I don't know where the fuck Ryan went.
Right? I mean, he's having a tough time.
How
He's
professional
a
is
couple
that?
days behind me with the COVID situation. I got it pretty bad. So he's catching up now, and I think he just had a bad coughing fit. And so sorry. Yeah. He had to bail without warning, but
No sweat. Well, heal well, Ryan. Stop coughing.
you know.
Josh, Kay, I love you and I'm proud of you.
Love you guys.
Beth.
Thank you so much.
Make good decisions.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Make good choices.
Get to reading your filthy animals. And until next week, run for your lives. This is the way of the leaf.